move. So I know what Craig Berube wants, but again, Tree Living, his job obviously is to win and win as soon as possible. He's got to manage that cap and manage it. So I don't know how you make that decision that you're going to bring in Schenn. How do you extend Tavares, not just on a money issue, but what his role is? I think Tavares has shown he's a second-line center. And is Schenn now going to come in and make 6.5 as a third-line center? It doesn't work, I don't think, in today's cap. So that's where I think they have a big decision to make on this. And when it comes to Schenn, I don't think it's going to happen at the deadline. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you. I'm just, like I say, we'll know after the decision in the trade is announced that which way they're going. To me, you're at sort of a fork in the road. You can go down the right side or the left side. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me which side as long as you go down one of the roads.
Yeah, as long as it leads to the Stanley Cup parade with you and I doing it from the chopper,
right? Chopper, yeah.
No, I want a front row seat. I'm going to be on the float. But
I'll be in the chopper. It's safer up there.
Yeah, but again, you've heard the reports, and again, it's our job to do the speculation and all that. I'm hearing about the Rantanens and some of these other players. Parayko in a perfect year, yes, Schenn will help this team. Parayko will help this team. But a team now, this Maple Leaf team just started building up this prospect pool, right? When was the last time you were excited about 2-3 guys coming in? And they have that in the Gurbenkin and Minton, who's shown he's NHL ready already. And, you have Cowboy Cowan coming from London, scoring 1 million points in his last, 10 games, right? So to say, hey, you know what, we're going to, get rid of those guys, I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think it's a smart move. And, I remember working in the media when they were talking about potentially getting rid of Matthew Nyes, and look at the player that he's become, essentially 2 years later, where he's now bumped himself up to a part of this core. So again, it's a tough decision. I understand that, but you have to balance the win now versus, continuing being a contender for the next, 5-6 years.
It's an interesting balancing act. It's like you're doing the 4 bowling balls and somebody throws in the 5th one. What do you do?
Yeah,
you move fast.
Again, we're in the press box, and we hear the yelling behind us. It's a stressful job. It's a stressful job where every mistake is, oh man, and we suck, or every goal is, the cup's on. So it's a very, very stressful job. I understand it. It's one that I would not even understand. I don't have the capacity in my brain to deal with that stress every day. But that's why some of those guys like Treliving and these other GMs, they're paid very handsomely because they're very, very good at what they do. So I'm sure we'll be pleased as fans, as commentators, because I think they know the group a little bit more than us. But I think there'll be some more surprises on the safe picks than the home runs that they're making come next Friday.
Well, I feel that anytime I have this conversation with you, or anybody else for that matter, we start talking about support players, but really it's up to the Fab Four up front and Morgan Riley in the goaltending. I mean, anybody who's a veteran on this team, it's up to them.
It is. And that's how it's been, with the couple first-round exits. It's right. They didn't score a goal in the final game, or, player X hasn't had a goal in a game 7, or, So I think it's going to come down to the big guys, the Matthews, the Marners, the Nylanders, Tavares, Morgan Rileys. And the good thing about Riley right now, he's playing some great, great hockey. You've seen him put up a bunch of points as of late. Yeah. And if he can replicate the playoff series he's had last year, with the help of Tanev and OEL and McCabe, like that is a very, very solid Fab Four, and with the goaltending. So that's why I think they're poised to take the next step this year, because I believe the guys that they brought in and the guys that have had the heartbreaks of year past, it's going to turn them into gamers where they're not going to be giving up third period leads, or I think their specialty teams are going to be special in taking over games. They just have too much talent, but I believe this year they have the work ethic and the coaching to balance it as well.
So to sort of back up what you said, the way Marner's been playing and the way he decided the game against the Boston Bruins, and the way Riley just lit up the score sheet in that game, I mean, these two guys certainly are rounding the corner, heading into the home stretch with a couple of length lead on the rest of the field. I mean, this is great news to see these two guys reach that performance in Boston.
It is, and it's, I think for Tavares, it should be, I mean, not for Tavares, for Marner, every year should be a contract year, because, you're going to get probably 100-plus points. And just, sometimes when you take a look at this group, you take it for granted a little bit, right, because they have the abundance of talent. But, he's having a career year right now where he's sitting 5th in the whole entire National Hockey League. Connor McDavid just passed him in points last night. But, he's amongst the McKinnons, the Dreisaitl's, the Kucherovs, the McDavids, the Connors, and the Pasternak. Like, that is elite company, right? He's third in assists. He's got 55 assists. He's playing some great hockey, and it's not just garbage points. The fifth goal in a 5-2 game. He's scoring game winners. He's scoring game tires. He's making big plays in overtime. He is showing that he is a gamer, and he's taking that next step. So just so happens that there's a contract extension that attached to that, and he has a lot to play for, but he's showing he's been elite amongst the elite this year for the Maple Leafs.
So let's go back to the win in Boston. Boston's up 3-0. The Leafs have been there before, especially on that ice surface, and it meant nothing. And that particular night, it was like role reversal, where the Leafs hung around and figured out how to stay in the game, and then took it from the Bruins in overtime. I think there's a number of games, not necessarily like that. That one's noteworthy because it is a role reversal. It happened to them the other way before. But there's a number of Maple Leaf wins this year. I think you'll agree with me that you look at and go, yeah, I don't remember ever seeing them win like that, and there's like that consistent defensive structure, and kind of gives you some optimism for the playoffs, doesn't it?
It does, right? And I've said it many times on this program that in 82 game seasons, and you want to have 40-50 wins, it's going to be a different win every time. And if you're just a team that only wins when you have a 2-goal lead or you get 3 power play goals, that's not going to be good for long-term success. So they found a way to come back down 3-0 in that game. And I don't know if it was the end of the first, I think it was the end of the second period where they had a breakaway or Boston almost scored to make it 4-1. That would have been the game, but they had a big save. Goaltender made a big save, and they came back in that third period, scoring with a beautiful goal 1 minute in by Mitch Marner. And then a couple minutes later, you had Robertson score. Then Boston scored to counteract, and they could have said, you know what, we're done. But they found a way to score in the last minute. When's the last time, you go back to last season, where they scored a goal with the goalie pulled?
Yeah.
Right? That used to be minus night for everybody when the goalie was pulled.
Yeah.
Because
oh, no, put him back in.
Because they would play, the big five, for 3.5 minutes of the last 5 minutes, and it would just be they're tired and they go on a breakaway and score. So for me, it feels different. I've watched a lot of Maple Leaf hockey the last 3 seasons. It feels different because, yes, it's the differentiality of the wins that they're getting. But again, it's not just 1 or 2 guys. It's not someone other than, Marner is having a great season, but other than him, who else is really having that quote-unquote career year? The McMahons, yes, we understand that, but you're getting Robertson having his moments. Domi's had his moments. Lorentz had his moments early in the season. We saw Matthew Nyes step up, and I know I'm missing a couple other guys. McMahon has scored some big goals. Holmberg's showing up as of late. So they have that depth, but they have that passing of the ball where everyone might have an off night, but there's going to be 2-3 guys that have big nights. And for me, that is a key to the playoffs. There's guys that get you 2, but there's other guys that get you through the playoffs. And it seems this year the Maple Leafs have not just 1 or 2, but a bunch of those guys that can get you through. Yeah,
very quick thought. I mean, you don't see the shoulders sag. There's no bad body language on this team, is there?
No, if your head is down, Craig Brube's yelling in your face and you're at attention. There's a little prank video online where they prank the Army people by saying attention. So they're at attention many a times this season.
We'll set up the opening face-off for you next. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
At Boston Pizza, we think fast lunch doesn't have to be fast food. So we created BP's 20-minute lunch special for just $15. Come into your nearest Boston Pizza any weekday for one of our $15 lunch specials with your choice of an entree, a side, and a drink. And we'll serve it to you in 20 minutes or less. Or the next one is on BP. Get a real lunch, real fast, for real value. Only at your local Boston Pizza. Some conditions apply. See in store.
What's up, Insiders? How we doing this evening? It's a beautiful night for hockey. Man, today was a gorgeous day today, wasn't it? Hopefully it was for you wherever you're watching from. Thank you for joining us this evening. I can't wait to watch this game. The Leafs take on the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Look at the chat already popping off. I love it. We the North as well tonight. Leafs at the Bulls right down the road from me. Yeah, probably about could go to the game, but I'd rather hang out here and have fun in the chat with all of you guys. There you go. We got Pierre, Brad, Carmen, Wayne, Brad Smith. Big shout out, my man. Thank you for sending that over. Very cool interaction with the Leafs on Facebook today. Awesome, man. We're actually going to start up Facebook coverage here soon. I've been busting my butt, Leafs fans. We have been going crazy here, getting everything going. We're going to launch a new website coming very, very soon. We're getting everything organized for March Madness. I just got all of the graphics sent over to my graphics designer for our SickKids Bracket Mania campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. There you go. Shroom says Leafs versus Bulls on ice or court. Hey, you know what? I'll take it. That would be fun to watch. Maybe we can make that happen in a few years. Goals, Shroom, goals. Thank you for the ideas. There's Dave from London, Ontario. Dave, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's time to get back to the pregame. I got to go get my new Leafs jersey on and maybe switch out the hat to the TFC hat that I guys got a TFC hat. I'm so excited for the TFC game tomorrow. We're live tomorrow, the only live on TSI tomorrow, Toronto FC against Orlando City. A great result from TFC in game 1 of the season. Can they do it again in game 2? Go Leafs, go! Make sure you check out the preview episode from today that I launched a few hours ago. Members got it a little bit earlier. We'll see you in the chat. There's Brandy, Jeremy. I love it. Lots of people hanging out with us. There's Pickleball Pat. Cheers to everyone. Let's have a great night tonight. Go Leafs, go!
Well, I think Rempe over there, obviously, he's an effective player in my opinion.
And Pierre comes through with the $10 super chat. My man, go Micker, go. Hey, you can call me whatever you want if you're sending money over here and helping us grow this amazing community. Pierre, cheers, my man. You have been around for such a long time, hanging out with us since the beginning. All of these OGs in the house and all of the new insiders, welcome. Hockey, enough of me. Go Leafs, go.
What he's trying to accomplish and trying to make a name for himself. He's like I said, he's an effective guy that way. And I think, when you're going against a guy like Reeves and Toronto Maple Leafs, there's going to be some hype for sure on it, I don't expect much hype tonight or anything, just go play. And if something happens, it happens, but, Revo in the lineup maybe deters him from being as physical as he has been, or their whole team for that fact. And that's the reason I went with him tonight.
What's your sense of Austin's energy levels, where he's at? You had a couple days here. Like, where is he at?
I didn't find his energy was that down or anything like that. He played a lot of minutes last game, but I thought before that, I was trying to keep him and Mitch a little lower, coming off the Four Nations. He's playing a pretty good game, in my opinion. Like, is it going in the net? No. But the chances are there. I think, you got to focus on the positives. Yeah, could he get to the net maybe and score some dirty goals? That's an option for sure and an idea. When things aren't going in the net, sometimes you got to get a greasy goal here and there. But it's not from a lack of chances. But he hit 2 posts last game again. So he's getting looks. I'm more focused on playing a good, solid 200-foot game. That's my message to him. And he needs to just continue to do that. He's in all critical situations out there. He's going against the best players in the other team night in and night out. So he's got to do the right things, And yes, do we need him to score? We do. And I think the scoring will come.
Do you see any after effects for William based on whatever the heck kept him out of overtime, or is it business as usual?
No, business as usual. He feels good. So something happened in the game, and he didn't feel he could go out there in overtime. So that's all that was. But he's 100% today.
Coach's comment is powered by your Ontario Honda dealers. Power meets play with the all-electric Honda Prologue SUV. Available now at your Ontario Honda dealer. The opening face-off is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Experience the best that MLS has to offer on Sirius XM FC from the stars of South Beach.
Scoops for Suarez, squares for Messi, goal of the season.
To the defending champions in LA.
The flag, hit that, got it to him a second.
You can hear all the top matches all season long.
Just can't get enough.
It's your league on your station. It's MLS on Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations.
What's up, Insiders? Big shout out, Robbie, my man, with the super chat, with the joining back as an insider and gifting a membership. Robbie, you rock. Thank you, dude. Go Leafs, go. Tonight's going to be so much fun. Seaweed Coins, I had to say your name just because I wanted to say it. Awesome screen name. I love it. All right, I am truly going upstairs now to get ready to watch this game. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you in the chat.
On Sirius XM FC, Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations, Team Canada, face-off, associate GM, Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
Yeah, we're talking about two of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The big name.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us on another Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game. This is where it started here on Toronto Sports Insider, the Maple Leafs. That's what we do every single game live. We appreciate you being here. Please take a minute to hit that like button down below and share this link out so that we can get more Maple Leafs fans and hockey fans here in the chat to help this amazing community grow. Now let's get back to the hockey. Cheers, Insiders. Cheers, hockey fans. Let's go, Buds. Let's get the W tonight.
Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs road trip continues, and they have been perfect so far as they tangle with the Rangers in New York at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Downtown Manhattan. Always a favorite spot when we got to travel to go to No, it's not. I hated New York City. I hated going to New York City. There's more people on the corner trying to go across the street than I grew up with in Sudbury. It's true.
I still enjoyed being in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yeah.
First time.
Oh, yeah.
And then the renovation.
The renovations were terrific. Yeah, they did a marvelous job. Well, the starting lineup's brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Anthony Stolarz is making his back-to-back start. Joseph Wall down with a little bit of the flu. Stolarz was outstanding in the win the other night in Boston. Got a big assist on a goal scored by Mitch Marner to win it in overtime. And Stolarz is 12-5-2, 2.23. Igor Shesterkin is 20-20-2, 2.93 goals against average and a .906 save percentage. And I don't know if he's been as good as he's been in past years. And that is one of the reasons that the Rangers are looking up at a playoff spot. We're underway. Leafs to the left. And a centering pass. And Matthews had to go off the heel of his stick and went wide. Leafs to the left and the Rangers to the right. It's down on the end boards in the New York zone. Matthews against the boards trying to get it free. And there's a whistle. As the puck went behind the net, it was touched by the Rangers. So I'm assuming that there might be a penalty here. And the face-off in the Ranger zone will be brought to you by Alpine Credits. You own your own home and need a loan. Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. And the Leafs are going to the power play. Brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today.
And it's going to be Mika's advantage ad for a trip on Austin Matthews right after Matthews misfired on the one-timer in the middle of the ice.
So the Leafs get an opportunity with the man advantage, but it is immediately shot down the ice by New York. The Rangers' penalty killing is fourth best in the National Hockey League. They've been shorthanded 170 times, 23 more times than they've been on the power play. Leafs get it down into the zone, but a pass by Tavares is a bad one. It's picked off behind the net and quickly shot out and down the ice by New York. 6 forwards again for Toronto. Marner leads the rush out. Goes rink wide for Matthews, who hits the line and dishes it off on the left wing side for Nyes. Nyes runs into a bit of a traffic jam. Got it to Willie. Nylander with a pass in front. And Matthews couldn't quite get to it to pull it to the forehand to send it past Shesterkin. Now Matthews along the near boards. Loses the puck. And it is shot out and down the ice by New York. Minute 3 to go on the power play. Morgan Riley over the board, so we're assuming the second unit is out there with him, and it is. Robertson coming through neutral ice. Hits the line and drops it off now, and it's spun around by Oliver Ekman-Larsson to the far side for McMahon. Back along the boards for Robertson. In along the near boards for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Tried to center it in front of the net. That was blocked. Robertson, a good hustle play to get to the puck and get it back to the blue line. Left wing side, Domi holds into the corner. Centering pass, OEL scores! Oliver Ekman-Larsson with a one-timer set up by Max Domi. And the Maple Leafs draw first blood early in the contest by way of the power play, and it's the second unit.
Boy, they have been fantastic, haven't they? A big part of this show is Nick Robertson winning a one-on-one battle in the corner to the left of Shesterkin. And the Leafs get the puck, move it around. It's Riley from the point to Max Domi on the left wing boards. And Domi with a perfect saucer pass to the high slot onto the stick of Ekman-Larsson. And Ekman-Larsson has his first goal since the Leafs won in Montreal back on January the 18th. But, boy, you talk about secondary scoring. The Leafs have been able to get that of late.
Fourth goal of the season for OEL. And the Leafs have an early lead and a power play goal to boot. Played in on the backhand into the Toronto zone. Played by McCabe around to the near side. And Nylander couldn't get it out. It goes to an open corner. McCabe with a little bit of time feeds it up the middle and is grabbed off there by Tavares, who fails to get it into the zone. The battle ensues along the boards, and the Rangers come away with it, and it'll be regrouped back into the zone. And now brought out at center ice. Long lead pass broken up at the blue line. Gobbled up then by Vakanainen, who will get it ahead on the left wing and sent down into the Toronto end. Pass back up the middle under the wing, and it is cleared in by Reeves. Reeves into the lineup here tonight, mainly because I would think of the appearance of Rempe, who's in the lineup for New York. Reeves gets it right back in again. Side steps Schneider to get in on the forecheck, but Schneider comes away with the loose puck and gets it up on the left wing for Riley Smith. Smith with a long shot. And if you're a starting goaltender, you want the first one that you catch and it's into your hand. It's about eye high. I'd say probably 60 feet out, and it's just a lollipop. And he got it.
And you've already got a 1-0 lead.
And you have a 1-0 lead, yes.
Now, one of the things you mentioned, Igor Shesterkin not having the great year that he's had before. Big news coming out of training camp was he wanted a new contract, and he got it. $92 million over 8 years. That'll kick in next year, but they had to do something first. Trade Jacob Trouba. So you want to stay, but we're going to have to get
rid of somebody as we get an icing against Toronto.
Guy that's very physical and blocks shots. And the New York Rangers, it has been a struggle for them. They're still in the playoff picture, 4 points out of a playoff spot right now, and that's why every game is so important for them. But the 2 games they've won coming into this one, Joe, 5-3 against Pittsburgh, 5-1 against the New York Islanders. They were outshot 77-34 in the 2 games.
So what you're saying is they have been very opportunistic with their scoring?
Well, I don't know if it's sustainable in today's game.
All right. Back to the point. Tipped in at the blue line. Long shot. Drops the puck back. Brought out at center ice. And fed in on the right side by Vincent Trocheck. And around the boards it'll come, where it's cut off by Timmins as the Rangers are changing. He finds Matthews with skating room to center. Mishandled the puck a bit, then shoots it into the right wing corner. He'll go into the forecheck there to get a hit in on Borgen. It comes loose as Matt got back along the boards for Nyes, and to the line, just kept in by Timmins. Back of the net is Marner. Marner's rubbed out along the boards. The puck comes free, and the Rangers will push it up on the wing, and Zach Jones gets it out at center, but it is offside, says the linesman. And we might as well introduce them as Kyle Raymond and Carter Sandlak are the referees. Devin Berg, Julian Fournier are the linesmen at MSG tonight.
Here's an interesting stat. Next year, the Oilers, Leafs, and New York Rangers will have 2 players making over $10 million a year. We're going to see more of that, obviously, with the salary cap going up.
Connor McDavid has an opportunity to sign long-term here, too. That could be before next season.
Leon Draisaitl and McDavid are the 2. Matthews and Nylander from a Leaf standpoint next year, and hopefully Marner is going to make it 3.
Icing call here against New York. Sorry, Jim.
No, that's okay. And the New York Rangers, it's Panarin and then Shesterkin. We just talked about his deal kicking in next year.
Face off in the New York Rangers zone. The Leafs leading by a score of 1-0 on an early power play goal. Scored by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And this winning streak has been powered by secondary scoring. Marner, Matthews, company have not. Now a centering pass and a shot by Riley was blocked, and the Rangers trying to work it into a 2-on-1, but they don't get across the blue line in time, and it turns out they have to take it all the way back into their own zone to regroup it. That was strange. Schneider shoots the puck down into the Toronto end. 14:52 to go in the first period. Cleared in by Ruedel. It comes in front of the net. Stolen back by Tavares. He gets it ahead on the near boards. Stops up again and then gets pile-driven. Nose first into the boards. Rangers get it back and send it down into the Toronto end. McCabe, nice pass to find Domi. Domi down the left wing, boards it into the corner. Got it in front of the net, but out of the reach of Robertson. And the Leafs will have to go back as it comes back out at center with Will Borgen getting it in on a long shot and a big rebound. And Stolarz was the architect of his own demise there with a big rebound, but he made the save on the ensuing shot. Played back down into the Ranger zone. Lorenz up against the end boards, drags company in there. Reeves along with Camp trying to come out with it, but the Rangers get it out at center. Rempe trying to get in over the line, but can't make a contact with the puck. And now the Rangers bring it in on the left wing side. Lindgren, the play around the boards back of the net. Rempe took piece there of Simone Benoit, but the Leafs get it out at center. Reeves can't come up with it, but it's grabbed off then by Nyes, and he couldn't get by the last line of defense to get a shot. Reeves trying to get a hit in here as it's brought in over the line by Cooley, and now back out at center ice. It's played by Toronto. Bouncing puck to the blue line, and a hand pass, they're saying, will stop play and bring a face-off into the neutral zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is on the board for Toronto. It's 1-0 Leafs. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear every note of UT's epic journey from their post-punk roots in the...
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Now is the time of the show for you to let us know where you are watching from in the chat. Speaking of which, where's Tom? Tom!
I'm right here, Dad.
Oh, good.
And I also wonder where you are from, just like my father.
So let us know in the chat what city and province in Canada, city and state in the United States, or all over the world, where you're watching from. And thank you for hanging out with us and participating in the chat. Now let's get back to the hockey.
We'll see you in the chat.
Go Leafs, go!
21 and the SiriusXM app.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on SiriusXM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the SiriusXM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Maple Leafs are 8 of 21 on the power play in recent games. Morgan Rielly picking up an assist on the Oliver Ekman-Larsson goal. 501 points chasing down Thomas Kaberle. 520 career points as a Leaf for second place to the great Boreas Salming.
4-point night in Boston, and now assists on the opening goal of this game against the New York Rangers. Morgan Rielly as well, Joe, with that big game. 9 points in his last 8 games.
Played out and down the ice by the Rangers, and Stolarz signals icing, and he is accurate. And so it'll come all the way back into New York territory.
Safe to say, when you look at the Leafs' first period, the big first period against Carolina, scored 4 goals. We're not great in the first against Chicago. We're down 1-0 after the first, down 2-0 after the first in Boston, and could have been worse if not for Anthony Stolarz. So I think pretty important to come out and get the first goal of the game in this one.
Draw to the right. Leafs win the draw. Wrist shot blocked. It's cleared up on the left wing side, and Miller will skate to center and ring the boards. Slowed up by Stolarz, but down into the corner. Shot from a sharp angle. Doesn't reach the net. Comes back to the blue line. Miller trying to play it in front. Now a shot by Zibanejad was blocked in front of the net by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. It's cleared to the line, but not out, but then followed up with a long lead pass, and here's Marner in over the line with Matthews. A drop pass in front of the net, and Marner couldn't chip it home. It's brought back out at center ice by New York. Down on the right wing side is Cooley. Got tagged up there along the boards, pushed ahead with a glove by the Leafs. They're trying to get it freed up, and they do. And it is Tavares dropping it off now for Jake McCabe. McCabe waiting for the rest of teammates to change, and Nylander, who did not play in the overtime the other night, nursing a left hand that seemed to be bothering him. Must have taken a slash, but he's in the lineup. Christopher Tanev is not, missing the game, first of the season, and they're hopeful that it is just a day-to-day thing and that he'll be back soon. He's still on the trip. Nylander got it in front of the net but couldn't deliver a backhand to the goal. Play it around the boards near side. And Cooley will get it out at center ice, and a lead pass goes off the stick of Lafreniere, and the Leafs have it again. Nylander trying to get it in over the line, but it was bogged down, and Pontus Holmberg couldn't reach it. Rangers back in their own end. 11:40 to go in the first period. The Leafs with a 1-0 lead. Brought on by New York on the right wing side. Pass goes off a skate, bounces to the blue line. Long shot goes off a stick and up into the screen and out of play. And a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Before the game, a member of the media in New York that was a long-time person that really did a great job in covering the New York Rangers, Al Troutwig, passing away this week, and our condolences to his family and everyone else, but a mainstay.
Yeah, not just with the Rangers. The MSG Network covered Olympics, everything else. He'd been in movies.
Well,
and it was some very nice tributes about Al coming from people that worked with him.
Yep, for sure. Puck bounces out into the center ice area. Leafs come away with it again. They'll regroup it back in their own zone. Played up on the left wing. Domi works to the line. Ran into a traffic jam at the blue line. Rangers play it down in on the boards and quickly played right back out again by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And then it's brought in offside as Sam Carrick got trapped inside the zone with it. So it'll be brought back out into the center ice area. Sam Carrick, one of the Carrick brothers who have got the maple syrup industry cornered in Ontario. Have you ever had some of their maple syrup?
Yeah.
It is outstanding.
Yeah, their father, John.
Yeah, John brought some. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Outstanding. I don't know how you corner the market on maple syrup, but I'm pretty sure they have.
Canada made?
Yeah, wait till Trump finds out about this.
Can't have any.
Played down around back of the Toronto goal. Camp was taken to the wall. It's pushed up on the wing. The Leafs are able to get it out, but it's just out of the reach of the Leafs defenseman, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but he got it down into the zone. Rangers trying to work it back out, and it'll be a long lead pass that goes off the heel of the Ranger player's stick, and Karam's up into the seats as Othman couldn't control the pass. 10:35 left to go first period, 1-0 Toronto.
The Leafs may be a little bit guilty of trying to be too fancy. You saw with Marner and Matthews a 2-on-1. That got bogged down. They had a couple of other opportunities where it looked like they maybe overpassed when they could have got it to the net. You're talking about how the Rangers have won their last two games without a lot of shots. The shots are 5-1 Rangers in this game.
So the Leafs shooting percentage
is, I don't know what it is percentage-wise, but it's real good. You know, I hate those advanced math.
No, that was advanced math. There was going to be a decimal point, all kinds of trouble. I understand fully why you didn't go through the process. Played off the boards to the Leaf blue line, but not out. Cleared back in along the boards for the Rangers. They can't come up with it. Bouncing puck goes into the left wing corner, and it is quickly cleared by Myers, and the Leafs are going to get it out. And now here's Nyes getting it up on the wing and unable to get into the zone. The Leafs have to go back, and now Marner works in on the right side. Takes a look over his shoulder, then sends it around the boards for Nyes on the left wing boards. Back behind the net for Matthews. Coming out in front with a backhand shot, stuffed at the net by Marner, and it wedges itself underneath the pad of Igor Shesterkin.
Well, you talk about keeping it simple. Austin Matthews with a power move from behind the net, coming out, trying to wrap it around on the backhand. And he gets it to Mitch Marner, who's storming the top of the crease. Puck disappeared, but ended up under the left pad of Shesterkin.
It is 1-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Jan owns a home and a restaurant fusing French and Mexican cuisine. But she is fusing no more.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs game. Now that we've got your attention, Tom has something to say.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for some notifications for all the streams that we have on TSI.
You know it. If it's a Toronto sports game, we're live. The Maple Leafs, the Raptors, the Argos, TFC, Blue Jays all summer long. Thank you so much for becoming an insider and hitting that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go!
From the biggest stadiums for the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
1-0 Toronto. Point shot by Oliver Ekman-Larsson from Domi and Riley on the power play at 1:47, and the Leafs have the 1-0 lead.
An opportunity by Mitch Marner, just the second shot on goal by the Leafs. Hey, Nick Robertson, you always talk about you want to upgrade on the third line. But boy, what he shows sometimes. You remember Lonnie Bohannes in the playoffs?
Oh boy, that was magical, wasn't it?
99.
Yep. Rangers break out at center, get to the lead blue line, get it in over the line, cleared back, and now kept in with a long shot. And trying to get a redirect there in front of the net was Lafreniere, but he never made contact with it, and Anthony Stolarz was well out and took it on the chest and holds on.
It's been a tough period for John Tavares, hasn't it? Lost 2 face-offs in the power play.
Puck has been bouncing on him a little bit.
Yep, puck seems to be bouncing on him. He's having trouble controlling it. And the thing with Tavares, he only needs it on his stick for a split second, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Face-off controlled by the Rangers, then stolen back by the Leafs, but the Rangers take it away. Played by Panarin, back to the point. One-timer coming, blocked. Good play by Tavares there to clear it away from harm's way. Shot from the point goes well wide as it goes to the far boards. Rangers keeping it in and getting it around back of the net. That shooting percentage that you talked about, Mr. Ralph, that the Rangers have enjoyed has kind of gotten away from them a bit so far as the Leafs get it off a high stick to center ice. And it is adroitly called by the linesman, and it will be brought back into the center ice area.
Alex Nedeljkovic, Pittsburgh goaltender, was pulled against Philadelphia. Gave up 3 goals. 2 of them went in off his own players. Got pulled and appeared to be in a bit of a screaming match with Mike Sullivan when he got to the Pittsburgh bench. Penguins ended up coming back and winning that game.
So after you have the screaming match, do you go back afterwards and say, good move?
I never did. That was sort of implied. You don't have that other bullet to come back and say, and another thing.
And another thing, yeah. Leafs get it in over the line. Drop pass and a shot is wide of the net off Max Domi's stick. Played out into the center ice area. Leafs get it back in their own zone, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets it up on the wing. And now it is regrouped again by Toronto as they will change. OEL drops back into his own zone. Lead pass off his stick into Ranger territory. Shesterkin playing it on the glass. Knocked down by, I think, a high stick, but the Rangers touched it. And it'll be played out at center ice where the Leafs come away with it again. Brought right back in again by Lorenz. Steven Lorenz into the corner. Tried to free it up there for David Camp. Camp against the boards, trying to dig it free. It'll go into the right wing corner for Borgen. He gets hit there by Reeves, and out come the Rangers to center ice. In on the right side it goes. Left wing pass for Trocheck. Trocheck gets it back into the slot. Shot stop. Big rebound. Down on all fours with the puck underneath his glove is Anthony Stolarz. And a face-off is going to come in the Toronto zone with 7:32 left to play in the first period. 1-0 Toronto.
Rangers have come on the last couple of shifts now and got the Leafs a little bit back on their heels. But really, at the start, there wasn't much push offensively for the Rangers at all, was there? By the way, Alex Steeves out of the lineup for Ryan Reeves. Got a story about giving guys a chance for playing well in the minors.
Yep. Brought out at center ice now by the Leafs. Myers drops it off for Nyes. He couldn't get it in deep. Marner trailing the play, has to go back to his own zone. He'll pick it up and start out. hits the red line, slaps it around the boards. It'll go to the left wing corner. Matthews trying to come out with it. He does, and the backhand is stopped with the glove by Shesterkin. Austin Matthews has some jump going tonight. He's had a couple of good scoring chances already.
Yep. Craig Berube said he's not worried about Matthews. He talked about all the things he does in the defensive zone that you love, and that he's had opportunities. A couple of posts in Boston a couple of nights ago. It is odd, though, only one goal in his last 7 games, and that was an empty netter against Carolina. I was going to say, buddy of mine, Marty Dahlman, former teammate, scored 50 goals with the Newmarket Saints in the American Hockey League, which is an accomplishment, and his reward is a Leafs. Leafs had some powerhouses back in the late 80s, right? 2 games. 2 games in the NHL, only had 1 assist. Get back there, kid.
Yeah. You got to do something down there to sort of warrant coming up.
You had your chance.
You bet, yeah. How's the fourth line doing? Here are the Rangers in over the line, into the slot, a shot, and that went off like another rebound in front. They score! A tip-off at the far side by Borgen. And the Rangers have tied the game on their 9th shot on goal with 6:52 to play.
You mentioned the Rangers have come on the last 3 or 4 minutes, and here, I think this is a redirection, Joe. After it looked like the Leafs were going to be able to get out of it, the first block shot goes back to the point. And it's fired towards the side of the net, and I think Will Morgan, who had originally jumped down, came out from behind the net. Pardon me, that wasn't Morgan. Who was it?
Yeah, no.
Replay again.
Who got the shot away? No, it was Morgan who touched it.
Or was it
Zibanejad who sent it in?
Or vice versa?
I thought it was Morgan who touched it, but...
No, I believe it was Morgan, Joe, that might have fired it from the right point.
Okay.
We didn't get a great angle of that.
No, we didn't get a good visual from the camera on that, that's for sure. And we get a hand pass stopping play.
JT Miller is going to pick up the second assist on that. There's some concern whether Miller would play tonight. He missed a couple of practices with flu-like symptoms. But as a Ranger now, this is his 9th game, 10th point, 5 goals, 5 assists in his return to the Broadway Blue Shirts.
13th goal of the season for Zibanejad. And the Rangers tie the game. Brought in over the line by New York. A pass into the slot area is deflected away by Timmins. Or by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. The puck comes back to the point, just kept in there by New York. They work it into the corner, and a one-timer went wide, and Stolarz made a lunging move to get across there, and he looked a little uncomfortable doing that. Puck at the blue line brought out by Nylander. Nylander to the line and in. Pontus Holmberg goes to the net. The drop pass to Tavares. A shot was stopped by Shesterkin. Played around on the boards, and Myers fails to keep it in. And McCabe will have to go back, and he'll play it up the boards for Myers. Myers looks across ice to his defense partner. Teams are changing on the go. Pass back for Myers. Myers gets to the red line, then hit Domi trying to shoot it in. They'll go to the other side, and it is shot back into the zone then by McCabe. Back of the net, Schneider starting out for New York. Off a skate and into the Toronto zone. Out of the reach of Riley Smith. Leafs have it in their own zone, and they'll get it to Domi, who gets it out. And now at center ice is Robertson. Robertson in across the line looking for a shot and lets it go, but it goes off Miller and goes up into the screen out of play. 5:10 to play in the first period. And the Rangers have tied the game at 1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Baseball season's almost here, and MLB Network Radio will get you ready for opening day with a tour of spring training. Hear team previews of all 30 teams as our experts talk with players, managers, and executives shaping the 2025 season. How does your team look?
There it is. We've got the microphone on. All right, I'm ready. We've got the Leafs jersey on. We got the TFC hat on for tomorrow. Ready to rock and roll. Insiders, how we doing? I got the Leafs game on up over here, and I'm trying to get the Raptors game started, and I saw that goal. Zibanejad gets it in, and it's a 1-1 game. It's all good. We're ready to party here on TSI. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, hit that like button. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We're over 100 already, I'm pretty sure. But let's get up there. What's up, Veronica? How you doing? There's Joanne as well. Cheers, Joanne in England. So great to have fans all over the world hanging out together. That's the goal of Toronto Sports Insider. Happy birthday, Brandy. 24th birthday, okay? Not 60. You're not allowed to be 60. That's the golden rule. It's been the golden rule in our family. It's going to be the golden rule here on TSI. Every woman's birthday, it's their 24th birthday. Now let's get back to the hockey and celebrating Brandy's 24th birthday. Men, stop drooling. Cheers. We'll see you back in the chat.
In the car and the Sirius XM app.
The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favourite team.
The win in Boston the other night pushed the Maple Leafs into a situation where they have won 11 of the last 12 games against teams who are not currently in the playoffs. And the Rangers would be another one of those teams on the list if they can add that to the
although it is difficult
stat.
To think of Boston and last year the New York Rangers for the
not being in the playoffs.
Yeah, President's Trophy winners not being in. And, you know, I think there's got to be some concern if the Rangers can sneak in. There's plenty of talent there.
Oh, boy, yeah. Yep. At the point, kept in by Timmins, around back of the net for Reeves. Back, a bad pass by Reeves is easily picked off and is brought down into the Toronto zone. Good hit by Benoit, and it's around the boards to the line. Just kept in. Here's Jones trying to get it to the front of the net. It deflects wide of the goal. Played on the backhand around the boards by Othman. Now Rempe into the corner trying to get it away from Connor Timmins. That created a bit of a scrum, and the Leafs get it freed up, and it is lifted by Lorenz deep into the zone. Reeves taken in against the boards. Schneider starts back, and Schneider will work it out at center ice. Schneider dropping it back into the Ranger end. Now Zibanejad on his wrong wing, shoots the puck in around the boards. No, it's gone off the dasher and gone up into the screen and out of play. You are a former professional ice hockey player, and I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think that Rempe and the Leafs tough guy, Ryan Reeves, had a little discussion before the game on the ice, maybe during the warm-ups?
No.
Not a keep your nose clean or I'm coming after you?
No, I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened early. And that's obviously just guesswork. But yeah, I think we just saw them out together in the last shift.
So you don't anticipate?
No, not with the score close.
Okay.
Nobody's going to want to take an instigator. And like I said, I think if you wanted to set the tone, I think you've already had the opportunity to do that.
Rangers with the puck in the Toronto zone, swinging along the boards and into the corner. Trying to come out with it is Jones. He got it to the side of the net. Now it comes back along the wall. Zibanejad can't come up with it. Back of the net for Cooley. He gets it to the point. A long wrist shot. Deflects wide of the goal. And it is Marner getting the puck out at center, but Nyes couldn't come up with it. Rangers play it back into the center ice area. They'll change as they play it deeper into their own zone. Borgen up on the left wing, and it is shot in on Stolars, who deflects that into the corner with 3:19 to play. In a 1-1 tie, first period. Rangers point shot on goal, stopped by Stolars. Leafs come across to the near side, but it's a bad pass, but it fortunately went off of the defenseman Myers right onto Nylander's stick. He gets in over the line, into the slot, got a shot away, and it was off the mark wide. I think he was looking for Tavares down around the goal crease area. Played back down into the Toronto end. McCabe goes back for the puck. Week today, the trade deadline. And talk radio is full of all kinds of scenarios that usually never happen. Played back down into the Ranger zone. Backhanded along the boards and out on the near wing. And it's brought out at center ice now by Jimmy Vesey, who will get it into the Toronto zone. Chipped along the boards by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but it's gone off a stick clearing the glass and going out of play. And with 2:24 to go in the first period, the Leafs are outshot 11-4. Game is tied 1-1.
Now, I believe you and I had to work for Leafs TV once during the trade deadline talks. And
last time they asked us, too.
Yeah. Showed them.
That's sure. When you don't know anything, they don't ask you back. It's perfect.
I don't think I have in my entire life I said Butch Goring's name more than that day.
You remember that trade too, do you?
Oh, yes. And of course,
it had to be the greatest trade deadline deal made.
Billy Harris, I believe Dave Lewis went the other way to L.A.
Yep.
Butch Goring, who, of course, ended up winning a Conn Smythe Trophy. Not that year, but the Islanders won the Cup that year, their first.
And went on to win it 4 times. Now a backhand pass in front. Oh, great stop there by Stolars. And a good poke check as well. It comes back to the point. Schneider to the far side. Shot right on. And it was knocked away, and the Leafs are able to elevate it out and down the ice. It will not go for icing. 2 minutes to go in the period.
Boy, after an encouraging start, the Leafs have turned the puck over a ton in their own end.
Rangers back in on the right side with a shot that deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Grabbed off by Matthews. He sidesteps 1-4 checker. Got it out at center, but it was out of the reach of Benoit. And the Rangers have it under control back in their own end with 1.5 minutes to go in the first period. Game tied 1-1. Played out at center by Condre Miller. Played in on the right side. It bounced over the stick of JT Miller. Puck along the boards. Miller getting it back to the point. Far side. Wrist shot. Deflects wide of the net. Zibanejad pumps it around the boards, but there's no one at the near point as the Rangers were getting a change in and is back down into New York territory. Pass up the middle again. Broken up by the Leafs. Grabbed off by Marner. Nicely kicked ahead there for Nyes. Nyes into the slot. Got it back, but David Camp couldn't handle the pass. He gets it along the boards, though, and is able to cycle it a little bit, but the Rangers are able to take it away from him. And Cooley will send it down into the Toronto territory under a minute to play. Played back up on the boards. Reeves got it out at center. The Rangers trying to bring it right back in again. And the Leafs have it once more, and it is David Camp getting it ahead for Reeves. He'll chip it down into Ranger territory. Out of the net, Shesterkin to play into the corner. Blocked by Camp. Reeves in along the boards. Reeves trying to maintain possession. Got it in front. Lorenz couldn't get a shot away from the circle. Rangers get it out at center ice. And Riley will shoot it right back in again with 20 seconds left. Leafs' fourth line has been dynamite over the last 4 or 5 games. Brought in on the left wing by Lafreniere. Shot from a sharp angle was blocked. 7 seconds left. Willie will have to hurry. Nylander in over the line. 3 seconds and a shot. He got it on goal. Shesterkin the save. And there's the horn that ends the period.
Hey, one thing that I noticed, it was the Zibanejad line out against the Matthews line when the Rangers scored, and Peter Laviolette looks as though he wants that matchup to get his big line out against. That includes JT Miller and Will Cooley. And they've had some great chances against the Matthews line, including the game-tying goal.
Well, it is something that when you look at plus-minus, Mika Zibanejad is minus 22 this year. And that might not be a matchup that the Leafs are going to object to.
No, and yet they're -1.
Yeah.
Against them in the first period.
Now that you bring up statistical information that is current rather than the stuff that I'm using.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right.
What's the score?
Still love you. 1-1. All right, we're going to step aside. Jim Taddy will be along with our intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
There's never a wrong time to escape to Radio Margaritaville, a channel with songs to put the lime in your coconut and transport you to an island state of mind. With unforgettable Jimmy Buffett music, beach anthems, and concert encores. Radio Margaritaville. Channel 24 and at home with the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high pressure.
All right, Insiders, 1-1 end of the first period. Cheers to all of you. Time to go refill those drinks. Get ready to come over to the Raptors stream and cheer on We the North against the Chicago Bulls. You all know this is my rivalry matchup, being that I live in Chicago. The game is like 30 minutes away from me, but I'd rather hang out here and be on YouTube streaming games, hanging out with thousands of Toronto Maple Leafs fans and Raptors fans soon. One day, right now the Raptors games are a little bit low, but eventually when the Raptors start getting a little bit better, we're going to have the same type of community over here. So make sure to pop in over on the Raptors Live that I'm starting up in a few minutes. We're going to start the last stream in Atlanta for the Raptors tonight. So we moved them, the Raptors moved from our office in Cape Coral down to the office in Atlanta. Now it's time to move around again, the March Madness stuff. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to share with you the March Madness stuff that we're working on. You know how we have that video that we pop in during the game saying, hey, where are you watching from? Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Now you can tell us on our website. We're working on a map that will show where the Insiders are watching from all over the globe. I can't wait. So there we go. I've got the new computer kind of getting set up over here that I was going to try and get the Raptors game in tonight, but it didn't work. So we got a new subscriber there. Cheers to Coralice Lozado has subscribed. We'll be switching some stuff up around here. Lots of back scene business here for TSI Mike and the TSI fam. So cheers here. There we go. Chickens for life. Hi from Alabama. I love Alabama. One of my favorite states. Might move there, actually. But maybe not. We'll see. There you go. Dude, the map, Brandy, you have no idea. It's insane. I was sitting in a meeting the other day looking at it, and we can't wait to test it out. We actually have the link done now that we're starting to test, but we're not going to launch it out until we get all the bugs out of it. So, go Leafs, go! Let's get back to the intermission, refill the drinks. I got about half. I got to record a little something to throw in the Raptors game here, and we'll see you back in the chat in the second period. Who's getting the next goal for the Leafs? We got to score quick. I think we'll start this the second like we did the first. Go Leafs, go.
Is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And it's tied to 1 after 20 minutes of play. TSN after 20, driven by Subaru. Get out in winter with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Stu, just as an overview, I mean, it's 1-1. The shots on goal are 16-5 for the Rangers, and yet, when you watch the Leafs go into the Rangers zone, they seem to have numbers there. What's your read on what's happening?
Yeah, I think the shots don't necessarily paint the picture of what the actual game is, right? And there's been a couple times, obviously, where the Leafs were hemmed in their zone, and you saw, obviously, they blocked a shot by Benoit that kicked right back out to Borgen, who shot it, excuse me, and Zibanejad ended up tipping it home. But I think from the chances standpoint, I think Toronto's probably has the slight edge. It's tied or they have the edge, right? They've been getting numerous odd man rushes. You see that they're blowing the zone. You saw Nylander almost get sprung on a breakaway if it wasn't for a high stick as well. So from a tipping the scale standpoint, I think it's even, or maybe even a slight edge to the Toronto Maple Leafs. But again, this is a desperate New York Rangers team where you don't want to necessarily trade chances and go back and forth. You saw the stats with Zibanejad and how hot he's been in the month of February. He's got points in 8 games this month as well too, and they have some guys getting involved on the offensive end of the puck. So I think for Toronto, they got to get back to that quote-unquote safe style, especially on the road in New York against a team that is fighting for their playoff lives.
And you can sense the desperation on the Rangers, can't you?
Oh, yeah, they got an extra hop in their step, and D are just firing everything on net. They got bodies going to the net. They really do have that desperation, as we talked before in the pregame show, 4 points behind the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, yes, there's still a bunch of games, and we saw the math. They got to go 15-9 in their final 24 games. It starts with tonight, but it just seems that they're playing as if tonight is a must-win, and technically it is.
Well, President's Trophy winners last year and scraping to get into the playoffs in 3 trades, significant players moved out of there. I mean, that is, very unpredictable and very unstable. I want to get to what Ralphie said towards the end of the period, that the line matchup, Miller, Zibanejad, and Cooley against Matthews, Marner, and Nyes. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty good matchup, but I think they are getting their looks. You saw Marner do a little bit of a passing play with Nyes and just sort of missed its mark. Marner going to the net, almost scoring. So I think they're trading chances. But Miller, again, he seems like he hasn't missed a beat since coming back from the Four Nations, and he had a little bit of hop in his step, and he had some good rushes and coming around the net there with some good speed as well. So I think for Toronto, they got to get used to their top guys being not neutralized but slowed down a bit by some of the other teams' top 6. So it's a good challenge, but Toronto has their looks. And yes, we talked about the shots being 16-5, but you could have easily seen Toronto have 2 or 3 goals. So for me, I think there's a little bit too many opportunities going back the other way. I think they need to slow down this New York Ranger team. And, again, I have my ears to these Twitter streets, and they're talking about them missing Tanev already. Let's call them on pump the brakes a little bit too. It's been 20 minutes, this game. But, again, I think they're on their way with a good start in the second to hopefully securing the 2 points for Toronto.
Well, they've already blocked 7 shots, so Tanev usually is good for 5 or 6. So I don't know if there's a deficiency there. I'd go to the shot attempts. The Leafs have 5 that got through, another 6 that didn't for 11 attempts, and the Rangers have 16 that got through, and another 12 that didn't for 28 attempts. I mean, obviously, you said they had the Leafs in from time to time, but Leafs have to sort of respond somehow. They got to get busy down there.
Yeah, they do. And, oftentimes in the offensive zone, they can get a little bit cute with their cycles down low and up high and deactivating. I saw Riley, near the net a couple times as well, too. But you see the New York Rangers, they're just simplifying. They're putting everything on net. You saw Lafreniere almost tip one home. He got caught loose behind the Leafs D's. So they really have that desperation in their game where they're just, volume. I think for them, volume is going to be the name of the game where, I would not be surprised to see them have 35-plus shots. But, goaltending has been great, I think on both ends right now, and it's going to be a big matchup, for Toronto this final 40 and just sort of weathering that storm. And typically against a team like this, you'd want to maybe turn it into a track meet. But again, these teams in New York really have some high flyers. They have some guys that can hurt you off your rush. So again, I'd have a little bit of more emphasis on an F3, supporting the D. Don't try to blow the zone, and just sort of a little bit more better puck management for this final 40 minutes.
There was a great deflection by Trocheck that, so again, maybe that's what everybody's crying about with Tanev not being there is they are able to camp in front of that net, which is not a good sign. I mean, obviously that's going to blow up on them at some point.
Yeah, but I think where you're missing Tanev, too, is just sort of on those puck retrievals. He's considered a breakout machine where when he gets that puck, 9 times out of 10, it's getting out the zone. So, that's where I think Timmins, and Benoit and Myers can really improve on that. It's just getting back a little bit quicker, right? Their foot speed's not as quickly as there, but their decision-making's not as quick as Tanev. So that's where I think they're at a disadvantage tonight because New York does have some speedy wingers and speedy guys that can get in. So I think for them, it's just anticipating a little bit better, but being a little bit more direct with the pucks when clearing it out, especially against a team that does really, really well on a cycle. And what you don't want to be doing is, every 3-4 shifts getting hemmed in for 30, 40 seconds because those guys are just eventually going to tire out. And then you can see the floodgates open on the New York Rangers end.
Still another period where maybe it's kind of misleading in that power play goal, 147 in, OEL, second unit gets a power play goal, and you're thinking that this is the start of something. But maybe in the past we would have seen that. But this team sort of, I don't know how to describe it. They play within themselves. So, I mean, it's not over till the end, and they're not trying to solve the game in the first 10 minutes. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, right? And again, the scale was tipping a little bit in New York's favor, but you see with 5 seconds left, Nylander gets a scoring chance where that very well could have ended up in the net, going up 2-1. So again, I think for them now is just managing the rushes against New York, but managing the volume. Right, back-to-back nights for the goaltenders as well too. So you don't want him to sort of be, getting 40, 50 shots because we're worried about now the health element. So just manage the score clock, but manage the volume as well. I think that's a key to success for this group going into the final 40 minutes.
Stu, thanks very much. Rangers and Leafs tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This is a message from United Way to a Jesse M. of Mississauga. Hello, Jesse. You might be wondering why we made an ad specifically for you. Because, Jesse, you see, we're fighting poverty any way we can. Even cold calling a complete stranger over the radio. Bold, isn't it? Together, we can make sure everyone has what they need, like food, housing, good jobs, and mental health supports. Join people like Jesse to build a better GTA. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org. Thanks, Jesse.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into a giant robot head, beams that shoot from the eyes. Pew, pew! Instead, they just went with shingles. But it's pretty glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
You're laced to face. They're saying Rome wasn't built in a day, and your six-pack won't be either. But you've got to start somewhere. Stop staring. Put us on. Take that first step, or lunge, or squat. Start small. Start somewhere. Join for $7.99 every 2 weeks at fitforlast.ca and experience fitness simplified. Some conditions apply. Fit for Last. Everybody happy.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.ca/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed where work is performed. See website for details.
Deep breath, piano pickup, hockey drop-off. Ooh, did you remember the Farm Boy cupcakes for afterwards? And dinner.
We got this. Voila delivered our groceries this morning. Cupcakes are in the back seat.
Got 'em.
And I got some ready-made pulled pork and Longo's fresh buns for dinner.
Ooh.
Plus, some compliments hot chocolate. A little reward for surviving tonight.
You're on a roll, honey.
Voila delivers fresh groceries from Sobeys, Farm Boy, and Longo's at the same prices in-store with no hidden fees. Voila, your groceries delivered just like that.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go to town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Just 2 of the games in the NHL tonight. One is about set to start. The Kings in Dallas against the Stars, and later on at 9 o'clock, Minnesota and Colorado against the Avs. And our game tied at 1. OEL in the power play goal, 147, 1-0 Leafs, then 1-1 Rangers and Leafs Zibanejad at 13:07. And that means, yes, Guy, the second period is next on Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac! Point taken. 2-0.
sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up!
Get him on his stick! Score! Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac! Go Leafs, go!
And walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, rebound, Caulfield, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs won and the Rangers won. After the first period of play, and the boys on the TV side have decided to show a rematch between Rempe and Reeves. So the old adage is, okay, we've dressed our atomic bomb. Are you going to do anything? And we're always reminded, you and I, of Eddie Shack running around against the Montreal Canadiens and John Ferguson coming over to Dave Keon and saying, tell him to stop, or I'm coming after you.
Yeah, that was the old eye for an eye. You know, as the odd time you'll see it with goalies. Somebody runs a goalie at one end, poor goalie at the other end is going to get it. But as far as the star players, there seems to be an unwritten rule that you do not do that. By the way, we talked about the New York Rangers, their last couple of games, 16 shots in their win against Pittsburgh, only 18 shots in their win against the New York Islanders, 15 shots in the first period against the Leafs.
And a 1-1 tie. The goal scorers, Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Mika Zibanejad. The Leaf goal coming on the power play early. And now defending the goal to the right as the puck is dropped and we're underway, and the Rangers will shoot it in. Round the boards, chipped by Riley high in the air. Doesn't get to its intended receiver. It comes between the defense, though, and has slid back into New York territory. Rangers in their blue shirts. Leafs in the road whites. Chip back to the blue line. Oliver Ekman-Larsson sends it towards the net. That deflected over top of the goal. Nice back of the net for Matthews. Matthews trying to protect it with his skates. Comes out in front of the net. Can't get a shot. Marner does. And that was blocked in front of the net there by Borgen. And the Leafs are going to play it out, or at least the Rangers are going to play it out and down the ice. The Leafs have to scamper to get back on the bench because they have too many. Now the Leafs get a breakaway chance. Nylander in, and that rolled off his stick. The puck rolls to the net, and the Leafs are saying that it's in, but the official is waving it off.
Boy, I think this crosses the line, and I think it happens before the whistle goes.
Tavares seems to be celebrating. Are they going back to the bench to celebrate, though?
Well, the officials are going to head right over.
Johnny Tavares has gone to the bench to celebrate.
Yeah, I'm sure this goes over the line by about a foot, and it's before the whistle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see it there, and then he drags it out. And it is into the net, Mr. Ralph. It's a goal, I think. But then we thought...
No goal on the play. Play's under review.
Well, wait a minute. So you can't say no goal on the play. It's under review because now you're going to tell us if it was a goal or not.
Yeah, but we thought that was offside by about 3 feet.
And then the Nye's goal was a high stick. But, I mean, I don't know how you call this back. I mean, the angle we saw, Nylander sort of loses it, trying to get around Shesterkin and then puts it back. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly over the goal line, and I don't think at any point is this covered by Shesterkin. As he moves it, and it was actually his own defenseman.
And you know, it went off the stick or the skate. So it is a goal. It went off the skate of Nylander. And there might have been some discussion about whether the puck was kicked. But it's the Ranger defenseman who actually puts the puck in the net.
Yeah, Varkanainen was the one that, and trying to reach back to get it, knocks it away from Shesterkin. And you and I were saying John Tavares had a bit of a tough opening period where the puck seemed to be bouncing on him. He lost a couple of faceoffs on the power play.
But is he going to get credit for it? I think because it went off his skate the last.
Well, I thought he just poked it at the last second and was able to get it over. Tavares was the first one to the bench, so that's usually the first indication of who got it.
Why did they bother announcing the goal? When would you just follow who was the first guy to the bench and then you know who it is, right? Save a lot of time and money. Shot around the boards in the Toronto zone, and it'll be pushed out at center by Pontus Holmberg. Tavares snapped his head back thinking he might have been clipped there, but the Rangers bring it back and in over the line. Turned back by Toronto. Tavares chips it ahead. Pontus Holmberg's going to snap it down into the zone. For Johnny Toronto, that's goal number 23 on the season, and the Maple Leafs have an early lead in the period the way they did in the first. Nylander with a pass in front. Tavares deflected that and it went wide, but I think a penalty is coming for interference against the New Yorkers, and so it will be a power play for Toronto. 1:34 into the period.
Boy, John Tavares was set up to the right of Shesterkin. Although I don't know where the penalty is.
Neither do I. And it's gone to the Rangers, and Lindgren is in the penalty box. So the second power play of the game for Toronto, which is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Leafs are able to keep the puck in, centering past Nylander, but a blind behind-the-back pass was easily intercepted and shot down the ice by New York.
Boy, how huge would this be if the Leafs could bang in their second power play goal of the night?
Now they have announced Nylander as the goal scorer. Well, there goes your idea first to the bench, Mr. Ralph.
Yeah, well, let's wait till they change
sure.
it.
We're going to wait. Into the corner, Nylander, dropping it back on the boards. Tavares comes off the wall into the corner for Matthews. Matthews at the side of the net. Tavares couldn't get a shot. Back to Matthews. Now to Marner, to Nylander on the near side. Back to Marner at the top. Marner drops it back for Nylander. Over on the right side for Marner. Marner down low. Matthews coming out. Good pad save made by Shesterkin. And the Rangers try to play it out, and they will, as Nylander is unable to keep it in. If it is Willie, it's number 34. If it's Tavares, it's number 23. Nyes gets into the Ranger zone, turning with it. Nylander in the slot for Marner, and the shot is into the chest of Shesterkin, and he will cover up and hold with 48 seconds left in the power play, and the number one unit coming over the boards.
Oh, yeah, the way things have gone. I like this last play by Austin Matthews. Gets the puck to the left of Shesterkin on the goal line, and then just swings it across the top of the crease. Shesterkin gets his pad on it, but the Leafs very nearly able to jump on a rebound to put it in.
Now in the game, Austin Matthews now with 2 shots on goal. When you know he's really on, isn't it? You're getting 7-8 shots on goal a night. Leafs win the draw. Shot by Robertson. Blockered away nicely by Shesterkin. Back of the net for Bobby McMahon, trying to work along the boards. It comes back to the point, but it's out of the reach of Ekman Larsson. He'll have to go back into his own zone. Half a minute to go in the power play. Brought on now by Toronto. Drop pass goes to Domi. Domi comes through center, left wing side, and across the line. Nifty little play, dropping it off on the right wing. A pass back in. McMahon directed it just over top of the net. Leafs trying to get to it again. Played up on the boards. It'll be pushed out at center ice, and Morgan Riley has to try and stretch things out, and he finds his defense partner. 8 seconds left in the power play. McMahon on the left wing, top of the circle, dropping it back to the point. Ekman Larsson with a shot, and this one is seen all the way by Igor Shesterkin, and he will stop that and hold on.
I mean, that is shot number 5 already in the period for the Leafs, equaling their first period totals. I'll tell you, I liked Max Domi's game too. We just saw him sift through everybody with some speed coming into the Ranger zone. I know for Max, the goals haven't been there. 25 games without a goal. 11 assists in that stretch, including
1 here tonight.
Yep, and a couple in, 12 assists, including tonight. But had 2 big ones in Chicago.
Back of the net. Centering pass for Matthews. And that was stolen and set out and down the ice as the penalty expires. And an icing call will come here against the Rangers. And it'll be back into the New York zone. Great centering feed. And
by the way, they took a shot away from the Rangers first period.
I told you it wasn't as bad.
No, you still say Nylander scored?
Yes. No, I think Tavares scored, to be honest with you. But Nylander is still on the board. McCabe gets it in along the boards. Marner slices it back. Nylander curls out, had it knocked away. Leafs have to hustle back, and they do. And a long bank pass to center for Matthews. Matthews dropping it back into his own zone, and McCabe starts up ice with a pass to Nylander up on the wing for Marner. A nice little move with his skate to control the puck, but the Rangers turn it over and they bring it back the other way. Panarin in on the right side. A shot off the stick of Benoit. Finds the screen up on top. And Trocheck letting that go, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone as a result.
Going back to who scored it, Tavares or Nylander. You've got to remember it all started with the referee saying nobody scored.
That deflection up into the screen was off the melon of Anthony Stolarz. I thought it was a stick, but it was the top of his mask that deflected that up into the air. And he was still standing up, so the puck was going over top of the net.
The old no mask days of Eddie Jockman, guys did not go down that early.
No. Reeves gets down into the Ranger zone, swings it around the boards near side. Lorenz can't keep it in. Zibanejad getting it out. Reeves is able to take it away. The Leafs play it off the glass, but it is brought right back in by Panarin. He loses it, and it is played by Lorenz to the far corner, and Timmins with time and space will work to his own blue line, but hit a skate. Now he'll get a return pass up at center. Camp couldn't get it into the zone for him, and it's along the boards, and Reeves trying to battle for it and drags it out over the line. That's pinned up against the boards, played back into the Toronto zone, but the Rangers are going to change. Benoit off the stick to the line and brought in by Domi, flipping it in for Lorenz, but he was too well covered. Shesterkin clearing the puck aside. 14:46 to go in the second period. The Leafs have regained the lead 2-1. A pass to the near side, unable to handle it with Schneider. Then a centering pass. And Rempe trying to push and shove a little bit. Now Rempe gets an arm on Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson says, "We got a guy. We got a guy.
Yeah,
we got a guy."
And the guy just went to the bench.
But we can bring the guy back on. So back off, buddy. And he did. Not really sure all of that was said.
Yeah,
it was implied.
It was a pretty good pitchfork into the pads of Anthony Stolarz and
at your local Ontario Honda dealer. And with features perfect for the city and the backcountry, like all-wheel drive for tougher winter roads and a range up to 450 kilometers on a full charge, you may think Honda made an electric SUV just for Ontario. Get up to a $12,000 Honda bonus on all remaining 2024 Prologue models. Plus, qualified Honda owners get an additional $2,000 loyalty bonus. OAC conditions apply. Range based on combined city and highway. Bonus available when you lease or finance through HFS at a standard rate. See HondaOntario.com.
Hey everyone, Adnan and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back.
I've got to say, what a thrill.
Couldn't agree more, Jeff. My blood is pumping.
Canadian Blood Services needs 450 new donors every day to keep Canada's lifeline strong.
And in the final quarter of the day, we have 55 left to... What's that?
Is that a new donor?
It's a new donor.
We're at 396. Only 54 left to go.
This is the 450 challenge. Let's get Canada's blood pumping.
Book an appointment today at blood.ca/450.
Leafs 2 and the New York Rangers 1. My son Liam and my grandson Caleb are at the wrestling. They're at the wrestling down at Scotiabank Arena, and walking up the stage to the squared circle is dressed in a Toronto Maple Leaf jersey, my favorite, Trish Stratus, in the house. I think that's great.
Now, did you ever go to wrestling in Sudbury?
Are you kidding me? Of course I did.
Now, my grandfather, I remember going with my grandfather.
Oh, in Sudbury.
No.
And then you could go to the Sioux and see the exact same car the next night.
But I remember when we were leaving, there was a fight between two of the wrestlers leaving. So so as a kid.
Oh, you thought it was real.
Maybe it was.
I have to tell you a story about one of the Maple Leaf Gardens ushers when we get a chance, as it's cleared down into the Toronto zone and played up on the wing to the line, but the Rangers are keeping it in. Long shot, blockered away, played off the boards up on the wing, but Nyes can't get it past the defense. Rangers have done a nice job hemming the Leafs in here. Another nice play by Marner, kicking the puck with his skate. He is so adroit at his edges and his footwork. It is ridiculous. Puck back down in the Toronto zone. Matthews able to get the puck free, and with skating room brings it to center. He's got Marner with him. Matthews cuts across the blue line. Marner's gone to the bench. Matthews sends it to the net. Steered wide by Shesterkin. Played around the boards and back of the goal to the near side. Benoit trying to keep it in. Got some help from Robertson. He'll play it in deep, but Shesterkin leaving it back of the net for his defense. And then played up on the wing to the line and brought in over the line. Here's a chance for Carrick, trying to drop it back. It is in his skates, and it's kicked to the line, but not out. Long shot wide, trying to get to the puck was Riley Smith. Carrick gets it back to the point. D to Schneider. Schneider with a shot that's wide of the goal. Puck on the near boards, and Robertson has airmailed it high off the glass to get it out. Then he hustles in after it as Domi gets to the line and plays it down deeper into Ranger territory. 8 minutes into the second period, and it is 2-1 Toronto. Carrick crossed the line right wing side with a pass that was well wide of the Leaf goal. He gets it back of the net, tries to play it back to the point, and it gets by everybody and has gone down deep into Ranger territory. Rangers going back to the puck. Pass intercepted by Camp. Fourth line out for Toronto as it's played around back of the net. Played high off the boards. It'll come out at center. Leafs want to get it right back in again, but the bad pass, and then the Rangers send an equally bad pass down the ice for icing. Quick story on the wrestling. Took my sons Liam and Derek to the Gardens for one of the matches, and there was a bunch of stuff going on, the regular stuff that the wrestling stuff goes on, and a guy behind us stands up and says, "That's it, I'm never coming back, this is fake." And one of the ushers said to him, "You just figured that out now, did you?" I thought, oh, what a great line that is, but you just destroyed this poor guy's.
Well, I'll tell you, though, Crave does these things called the darker side of wrestling.
Yep.
And there's some interesting stories.
Oh, no, there are. And a lot of legitimate serious injuries, and unfortunately, some serious deaths attributed to it. But it is, they are magnificent athletes. There's no two ways about that. I don't know if you can put them in the Sports Hall of Fame, but I guess you could. Rempe knocks down McCabe when he didn't have a stick. The Leafs get it out at center, and it is Nylander sending it down into the left wing corner. Back of the net, Tavares. Tavares against the boards, banks it back to the blue line. Shot by Timmins, kicked away by Shesterkin. Into the corner, Tavares again. And from a shaky first period, Tavares has had a much better second period. Still think he scored the goal. Brought on now by Benoit. Bank pass will get into the zone. Rangers are able to come away with it. And they'll work it out now on the left wing side. Stopping up and trying to play it ahead was Lindgren. And the Leafs just get it to the line, but not out. Panarin steals it. Panarin in with a shot. And the stick of Timmins goes up into the screen, and he gets the stick tap from goaltender Anthony Stolarz. for getting in the way of Panarin's wrist shot.
Well, it was Timmins that gave the puck away. Trying to go D to D to Simone Benoit, got picked off. And I think Connor Timmins was going, I better not let this get to the net. As Artemi Panarin winds up and snaps it. But Timmins actually moves towards it, doesn't he? Kicks the leg out to get a piece of it.
Made a pretty good save with it. Might have gone off the boot of his skate. Shot from the slot off a body, comes to center. Shot back in, slowed up by Stolars. And the Leafs go back for the loose puck. Back to the net, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He opened the scoring. Pass doesn't connect with Marner. Rangers have it at their own blue line. Pushed up on the wing then by Borgen. Down into the Leaf zone it goes. Taken to the boards is Ekman-Larsson. He battles for it. Puck comes up on the wing. Chipped along, but then cleared high. And Anthony Stolars, who's what, 6'6"? He showed you he's played a little basketball right there. He went up and took that off the rim, Mr. Ralph.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be the tallest guy in that building to ever do it.
No, probably not. 2-1 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet or on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy. I have 2 brand new exclusive channels right here on SiriusXM. First, there's Unwell Music. Fun, feel-good music for the girls. And Unwell on Air. The best of Unwell and brand new live daily shows with weekly pop-ins from yours truly. Unwell Music on Channel 3 and Unwell on Air on the SiriusXM app.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA, Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. You're going to be putting your country's jersey on. You're representing your country. I think we're going to have a great fan base around us, and I'm really looking forward to what it brings.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations Team Canada face-off associate GM Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
Now we're talking about 2 of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs lead 2-1. And our entire idea of trying to be accurate in the National Hockey League has blown up in our face. Again. John Tavares went to the bench first after the go-ahead goal, and it was off Nylander and in as the Rangers put it into their own net. So it is definitely Willie Nylander's goal. That's number 34, and it's unassisted as it is poked out at center ice, and Lorenz had to pick up his broken stick, or his lost stick, not broken. Played on into the Rangers zone with 9:10 to play in the period. Out at center ice, it's shot down into the Toronto zone. Grabbed off in the corner by Riley. Played ahead that got to Lorenz. Lorenz for Camp with Reeves. Reeves goes to the front of the net. Camp into the corner. Stops up. Double teamed over there. Tried to work it in front, and the Rangers have taken it away. Brought out by Panarin. The bread man gets it to the Ranger or to the Leaf blue line. Tried to poke it in front of the net, but the Leafs are there in numbers, and Pontus Holmberg skates it back the other way. In on the left wing for Tavares, who gets his drop pass, doesn't shoot it. Curls at the half board, sends it back along for Nylander. Nylander into the corner, got away from uncentered. Tavares got a weak wrist shot away, and it was easily blocked. And now Zibanejad shoots it back into the Toronto zone. Tavares got back there quickly to play it up on the left wing, but the Rangers are able to keep it in. Shot blocked again, this time by Pontus Holmberg. Back to the blue line. Zibanejad doesn't shoot it. When he does, it's in traffic. knocked away by the glove of Stolarz. Here is Miller getting it back, stolen back by Tavares, tried to find Nylander, but it was off a Ranger stick and down into New York territory, and Willie was at the end of the shift anyway. 7:48 to play in the second, 2-1. Getting 4 goals is usually Mr. Automatic for the Maple Leafs. They're halfway there in this one. Puck along the boards, grabbed off by the Rangers, who will play it down into the corner. Benoit freed it up for Domi. Domi gets it into the corner. Riley backhands high. McMahon racing after it with one man back. He's by his man. He's in a goal. And he tipped it over the net. He really didn't have good control of the puck when he made his move to the net. But now without his stick, he's grabbed a hold of a Ranger, and there's going to be a New York power play. Rangers bring it through center. Schneider dropping it off. Carrick dropping it back to the blue line. And it's poked out at center ice by Riley Smith. But without control, the Rangers are getting another rush with an extra man. They get it to the line. Panarin swinging it around the boards. And it is finally touched by Robertson. And Bobby McMahon, who lost his stick, did the next thing that came to mind, and that was putting the grab on a New York player.
All right, holding is going to be the call. Pretty good sales job, too, there, wasn't it?
Actually, it was Shesterkin who made the good poke check on McMahon.
But Schneider, I mean, the hand's there, and then Schneider just drops, straightens the leg, down he goes. Players are smart. You know that the Leafs have the first 2 power plays of the game.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Draw to the left in the Toronto zone.
Ranger power play 18th in the NHL, 2 for 11 in their last 6 games.
Played around back of the net, and the Leafs Marner will get it ahead for David Camp. He sends a long shot that's well over top of the net, off the glass into the Ranger zone. New York has to go back to reorganize. They get it ahead at center for Zibanejad. He drops it back. They are without Mr. Fox. Adam Fox out for a while as a shot deflects wide, and he is a huge part of this power play. Zibanejad over on the left wing side for Schneider. Schneider tries to drop it back. Zibanejad near side. Panarin! Shot deflected wide. It comes to the side of the goal. Backhanded out and down the ice by Marner. Fox is going to be out a while.
Yeah, they put him on IR right away.
Brought on at center by Trocheck. Intercepted by the Leafs, but Marner can't clear, but he gets some help from a defender. And down the ice it'll go with 1:03 left in the power play. 5:50 to play, second period. Zibanejad dropping it off the boards. Brought on by Panarin. He shoots it in. That could be icing, and it is in fact going to be. So the Leafs catch a break there, and it'll be brought back. When the Leafs score 4 or more goals, they are 25-0-0. And when they've had the lead in the third period, at any point, 39 victories. Kraken are next with 27, Wild have 23, and Tampa Bay 21.
Yeah, Boston would fall into the category of comeback wins in the third period. They did that to Edmonton as well. We're down 2-1 into the third on home ice. Went ahead. Draisaitl tied it before Marner won it in overtime.
Shot back down into the Toronto zone. Pushed around the boards, back of the net. Miller gets it up on the wing, but it comes back to the point on the near side. Marner couldn't reach it. Back into the corner and back of the goal. Hammered off the boards. It'll clear as it just gets past the blue line. And Zibanejad is going to play it back to his goaltender. Shesterkin returns the favor. 20 seconds left to go in the power play. Lead pass.
Too many men?
Boy, yeah, the linesman's given it the circle job on the hand, so there may be a penalty here to New York for too many men.
Boy, because the Leafs just touched the puck. Yeah, it's going to be a too many men on the ice penalty to the New York Rangers. So 17 seconds of 4-on-4. There's 5:06 to go here in the second period, and the Leafs once again.
We'll get there.
Boy, this isn't even close.
Yeah, you're right. They're all out there.
And we got the wide view, and the Rangers are going to pay for it here.
Leaf Power Play brought to you by Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter. Yeah, right. To the fullest with a symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. All right, I've had enough. Snowing again tonight.
Let's use those.
Had enough.
Let's use those Subaru summer commercials.
Yes. Yes, we could just change the one word on that commercial. Spring will be perfect. So 4-on-4 hockey here. 6 seconds left in that, and the Leafs will get to their third power play as it's played down in the Toronto end. Ekman-Larsson dropping it back. Nylander waits for the door to open, and the Leafs now have the man advantage. He'll drop it off for Matthews. Matthews to the line. Right wing side for Tavares. Works around back of the net. Swings it along the boards to find Nylander. Nylander to Marner. Quickly to Tavares. Couldn't handle the pass. Tavares in the near boards. Back it goes to Willie. Nylander into the slot. Trying to get it over to Matthews. It's intercepted and shot down the ice. Quickly played up by goaltender Stolars. But
was that outside the trapezoid? That he played that?
Oh, I don't know that, Mr.
Boy,
that was close. Yes, that.
I thought.
Yes. Oh, sure it was. Sure it was.
Is this going to be called?
I don't know.
Well, I
better drop the puck in a hurry because you're right. That was not in the. Well, they're done now. Stolars just dodged a bullet. I'd like to see that again. And not being in the rink, you couldn't really see where he was positioned. Leafs get it in over the line, but Nylander can't penetrate. 55 seconds left in the penalty. It's shot back down into the Toronto end. Stolars was trying to catch the Rangers in a change in the second period and ended up not hitting his man, and it turned into an icing. But your point is well made. Hammered off the glass, it's going to go out and down the ice.
Boy, this has been a horrible stretch for the first unit, even though I know Marner scored at the end of a power play in Boston.
Here's Matthews across the line. Into the slot. Drop pass. Shot by Robertson was blocked. The Rangers are playing it off the boards and out at center ice. And the Leafs get back to it and play it back up on the left wing, but Matthews couldn't handle it. Played along the boards. Vakanainen, and he's going to get it out and down the ice. I would really like to see that again. Here's Marner coming through center. When's the last non-trapezoidal penalty that we've seen?
Live? Oh, boy.
Yeah, Robertson with a shot. That was off the mark wide. Trapped by Riley at the right boards. In around back of the net for Bobby McMahon. Cleared into the corner. Robertson has to put the brakes on to get there and keep it in. Did so with the assistance of Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but now it is launched high and out and down the ice, and an icing call is coming with 2:44 left in the period. The penalty is over. The shots are 19-12. And I don't know if the people on the television production side are going to give us another view of that.
I just, when it happened, we got the first look at it, I thought, boy, he just played this outside the trapezoid because it was below the goal line. I'm certain.
I am as well.
Played it. I mean, maybe we're wrong, but I thought even on the replay it showed the same thing.
Draw one by New York. Swung around the boards to the far side. And to the Leaf line, it rolls in on Stolars, and he's going to cover up with Rempe there. And then Riley is in the middle of things, and nothing more developing.
I know.
We got a guy, Rempe. We got a guy. It is 2-1 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom, wha-bam, zap, turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing, camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.ca/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed where work is performed. See website for details.
Leafs lead 2-1 over the New York Rangers on goals from Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Willie Nylander. Zibanejad scoring for the Rangers.
And the Leafs, I mean, they had 5 shots on goal in the first couple of minutes of the second period. They've got 7 total now here late in the second for 12 shots.
Leafs are 6-1-0 during the month of February, which is, of course, a rather strange statistic, what with the fact that they almost missed 3 weeks because of the Four Nations event.
Won 3 out of 4 in a Western trip, losing in Vancouver to finish it off, and then winning 3 straight since.
Leafs win the face-off, cleared high off a glove that Camp couldn't come down with. Played back in on the right side. Rangers with 2:27 left in a shot, blockered away nicely by Stolarz. Myers gets in along the boards. Camp is there as well. McCabe couldn't help out. It comes back to the point. Schneider walks the line, gets it back again on the right side, sends it down to the side of the net. Trying to get out in front was Lafreniere, but the Leafs have taken it away and get it out at center ice. Lafreniere is offside, and when it is touched by Panarin, he didn't work that offside nearly as well as Tavares worked it with Nylander.
Yeah, I still didn't see any space between his stick and the puck when he took it over. The funniest one where, okay, I was wrong in what I thought happened was in Seattle when Matthew Nye scored a goal that looked like a high stick. And then it comes out after. We talk about the first guy to the bench.
Yep. He told somebody else to go.
You go.
You go.
Because he thought it was
we
a
could
high
fool
stick.
them. Yeah. Puck down in the front of the net in the Leaf zone, brought out now by Matthews with Marner. He's going to flip it into the right wing corner and go in there after it. Matthews takes his man to the boards. Marner trying to come away with a loose puck. It's to the side of the net, and the Rangers will get free of it, and Zibanejad will get to center and play it off the boards and into the Toronto end. Timmins got to it, but a centering pass just off the stick of Lindgren, and that goes down the ice now by the Leafs icing, and that was a good save by Stolarz.
Yeah, was it Will Cooley, Joe?
I think it was Cooley, not Lindgren.
Yeah,
yep, it was Cooley.
Might have jumped in, and it was sort of a bit of a fluke. It was just sort of hacked in front. And Cooley, I don't even know if he got a stick on it. I think when he spun, he got a skate blade on it. And Stolarz had to react to it, or that was going far side.
Cooley's had a couple of goals in his last 4 games. 21-12, the Rangers out shooting the Maple Leafs, but the Maple Leafs leading 2-1. And the draw scrum played back in behind the net. Benoit with a good hit there to free the puck up, but now it's back along the boards, and the Leafs will try it to the near side. Benoit just hammers it on the wall, but it doesn't clear. Back around behind the net, trying to center Brodzinski. Taken to the boards, the Leafs still after the loose puck. Camp, or at least Matthews, playing it around back of the net to the far side, and this is airmailed high to neutral ice. Brought back in over the line by Matthews. Bouncing puck that Marner can't get to. And played up at center on the right wing as the Leafs were changing. Othman gets in with a shot, and it's high. May have gone off the crossbar. And Stolarz quickly pointing out to the officials that it also went off the crossbar and up into the mesh. 49.7 seconds left.
This coming off the rush late. Yeah, this beats Anthony Stolarz over the right arm.
Brodzinski with the shot.
Off the crossbar and out. Leafs got caught. You remember the game in Chicago? The Leafs twice gave up a goal in the final minute of a period, the first and second. Before battling back to defeat the Bull. Well, they had a 3-1 lead late the second. And they gave up the second goal late.
Draw one by the Rangers. Panarin's shot deflects into the far corner. Around back of the net, centering pass. And to the side of the net, Stolarz tried to get a glove on it, but couldn't. And it's batted out to the line, but not out, and now pushed to center ice by Toronto. Slapped right back in again, bit of a delay. Stolarz in the trapezoidal area, playing the puck into the corner, and it's out at center ice. Leafs with it now in a drop-off now to Nylander. Going wide with a shot that was deflected into the corner. Willie gets there first to send it into the near corner to Tavares. Tavares stops up. Nylander will take the puck. No, Tavares hangs onto it. Tavares now working it back into the side of the goal. Holmberg dropping for Nylander. Nylander into the slot, doesn't shoot it. And a penalty in front of the net, and Tavares is going to get a penalty for interference. Vakanainen went down like a sack of potatoes, and Tavares is upset that the battle in front that Vakanainen couldn't maintain his balance over is going to cost him a penalty.
Boy, Tavares dropped the puck off and went to the front of the net. You're going to see this again. This is, oh boy, this is a bad call. Vakanainen pushes Tavares. Tavares pushes him back, and down he goes. So both penalties the Leafs take are within 20 feet of the New York Ranger net.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. 3.1 seconds remaining in the period.
Boy, you can't tell me that who's got the most penalties doesn't play into a lot of games, right? As far as who's getting the next one.
How many alleys are in your pocket, you mean?
Yep.
Draw to the left, Stolarz. And the Rangers are getting a warning, or are they getting waived? Focek, I think, has been waived out.
And to me now it's even, right?
Okay.
I know it's 3-2 for the Leafs, but too many men on the ice penalty, that's like delay a game. That's not a judgment call. That's a math question.
Win the draw. Shot, pad, saving a good one made by Stolarz to end the period. Anthony Stolarz comes up with a great save there off Miller right off the hop on a face-off win. And the Rangers will go to the dressing room, and the Leafs will enjoy a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play, and that statistic is still there about leading in the third period. So a 2-1 advantage after scoring in the second period.
Do believe that the final shot tally this time will be 9-7 favoring the New York Rangers. So Leafs a little better in the second period, but still some scary moments that Anthony Stolarz had to bail him out of.
We will step aside. Anthony Stewart will join Jim Taddy for our intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Experience the best that MLS has to offer on Sirius XM FC. From the stars of South Beach.
Scoops for Suarez. Squares for Messi. Goal of the season.
To the defending champions in LA.
The flick. Hit that. Got it to him a second.
You can hear all the top matches all season long.
Just can't get enough.
It's your league on your station. It's MLS on Sirius XM FC. Channel 157 in the car and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About whatever how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. You're going to be putting your country's jersey on. You're representing your country. I think we're going to have a great fan base around us. And I'm really looking forward to what it brings. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Avalanche General Manager Chris McFarland. What went in to maybe change that duo in goal?
With the work of our scout, Wedgwood's experience, he was a veteran guy, he's been through the grind. We were very bullish on McKenzie, and when the opportunity came to add him, we just felt it was the right move for us, long term.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations Team Canada face-off associate GM Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
We're talking about two of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Canadian Leafs hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And lead at 2-1 over the Rangers after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 is brought to you by 241 Pizza. Give yourself a high five by any large traditional pizza. Get up to 3 medium one-topping pizzas for $5 each. 241pizza.com is where you go for that delicious offer. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Stu, it's kind of the same type of period, but the Leafs were able to get that early goal, and I don't want to say hang on, but battled through it, didn't they?
Yeah, it was one of those periods that we described as almost background noise. We're just back and forth, not too much high event, and almost they lulled the New York Rangers almost to sleep there too, right? So great job right off the start, and I'm sure that's one of the keys to success for Craig Berube, starting periods on time, and that's back-to-back periods now where they came out gunning. Great job by William Nylander getting that breakaway and staying with it, and getting a little bit of help from the New York Rangers defenseman and scoring his 34th of the season. He's now second in the National Hockey League, so he had a great first shift to start the period. That line, I think, has been buzzing with Tavares the whole entire night. And the New York Rangers, yes, they did get a couple opportunities here and there. Penalties have sort of kept the New York Rangers sort of hanging around, with a couple power plays. They're going to start the third period on the power play as well, too. But overall, a pretty solid, another solid period by the Toronto Maple Leafs, setting themselves up for a third period win.
A road/playoff period, right?
Simple hockey, right? And it was funny. I'm listening to the game, and I'm like, it's pretty quiet for Madison Square Garden. And, the fans were trying to manufacture some energy and calling out Matt Rempe's name. I don't even think he was on the ice. So, great job by Toronto. Stolars was, relied upon when called upon and making some big saves there. Got helped by the crossbar and the one shot by Bradinsky as well. So, a good team game so far to see if they can kill off this 2-minute power play and then bring it home.
Well, let's talk about the power play. I mean, that's just and I agree with Ralphie, ridiculous penalty call.
Yeah, I go back to Gary Roberts, and there was a bit of a typo on the screen when he got a penalty, and it said too much man, and that's exactly what that was. Where I actually think he actually absorbed a bit of a cross check from the defender there, and he was sort of out muscling them there. So again, that's the way it goes. The pendulum sort of swings in one way, then it comes back in your favor. Not saying it was just an even up call, but again, you can't rely on the referees, especially this time of year. But I'm sure if they could take a look back at that, they definitely would have taken it back.
So, and I'm going to throw a couple of Leaf names at you one by one. These guys were busy. Stolar's really just on his game, isn't he?
Yes, he's been pretty good so far through 2 periods. He's got, 22 saves, 23 shots so far on net, and, he's on pace to have a 30-plus shot night, and he almost got beat on that crossbar shot by Brodinski's event, but other than that, he's been solid. He's been fronting the puck pretty well. He's moving well, but he's just in the way the whole entire game, which, he's looking every bit of his 6'6" that frame that's in between the crease.
The other guy's Bobby McMahon. I mean, he's very noticeable, isn't he?
Yes, right. And, some might be wondering why would he be, on the third line. But he's a guy that whether he's on the first or the fourth, he is going to create with his legs, right? He gets it on the forecheck. He turns pucks over. And you're sort of seeing the evolution in his game where he's now, making better plays. He's more confident with the puck. He's not just a horse getting in and turning it over. He's confident making little plays, and he's a definition of tough to play against.
I'd like your take on this. I mean, the top line, you have all these high expectations in terms of domination, in terms of numbers, and, the world we live in sort of rewards if you can predict the numbers. Is it frustrating to watch them play in a game like this?
The top guys?
Yeah, I mean, the Matthews line.
Yeah, but again, it's, I think in our mind, we when we think of Austin Matthews, we think of 69 goals where every single time he's out there, he's going to create an opportunity to score. And, he is a very, very streaky scorer. And, you saw with the Four Nations, he was, pretty banged up. So I'm not an apologist in any sense of the word, but, all 12 forwards can't have their A game every single night. So, yes, I know he's probably expected to have more than his 21 goals this year. He's tied with Matthew Nyes, but Marner's been the driver. And, he's got majority of his 70-plus points and probably 40-plus games. So some of them are going to have some off nights, but, we're talking about a team, as of yesterday was in first place. I think they're now, second. They have games in hand, but this is a first-place hockey team, and balance is key. I'd rather that than one or two guys going and everybody else struggling.
Okay, so 2-1, Leafs have to kill off a penalty to start the third period. What do the Leafs want to do in period number 3?
Just keep your foot on the gas. Not too much gas. Just let off the gas a little bit. Don't be pumping the brakes. Just take it off just a little bit. Don't hit it above 3,000 RPMs. But, again, manage the puck. A couple opportunities that the Rangers got were on turnovers in the neutral zone. So just manage the puck a little bit better. Discipline. And, again, I think for them, you don't want to be sitting back. You want to try to get one more past Shesterkin to get these 2 points.
So it's like they had this high-powered gas motor last year, and now it's a hybrid.
Yeah. It's like I think they turned into a motorcycle where they have the clutch and now it's the handle. So they're just not hitting full throttle there. We're in the motorcycle years this year.
The motorcycle with the sidecar.
Yes. I'm in there. I don't know if I could fit there. We're going to put you in there, Taz.
Well, that's like the S-Guy bat cycle.
Oh, no. We got another sidebar here.
Yeah, unfortunately. Who's the best Leaf for you in the game so far?
For me, it's got to be Stolarz. Again, he's been dialed in. He's been just all over the puck. He seems like he's unbeatable. Knock on wood too. So I would go with him for sure.
Okay, Stu, thanks very much. And so it's 2-1 for the Leafs over the Rangers after 40 minutes of play. Nylander, the goal at 51 seconds of the second period, unassisted. And it's it is an own goal because it was chipped in by the Ranger defenseman upon further review. And the Leafs have a penalty to kill off to Tavares. And it's only seconds old, so pretty well fresh ice. And most of the 2 minutes, like 154 of a power play or less, that the Leafs have to contend with to start the third period. 2-1 for the Leafs over the Rangers. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. The Leafs take the 2-1 lead into the third period. I can't wait to hang out with you and cheer on our buds. Cheer loud. Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go in the chat. Let's get it fired up. A big shout out to Brandy Gale. Happy birthday, Brandy. David, Kyle, Mr. Roboto, Can't Control Life, Carmen, Dawn, Allen. You are tearing up that wrench, Carmen. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Make sure, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. It's going to help bring more Leafs fans here to the chat for the third period. As well, please share the link out. Let's get it out there on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you got. Leafs boards. Send it out there and let's bring Leafs Nation here to Toronto Sports Insider to hang out with us. And don't forget, tomorrow, TFC against Orlando City live right here on TSI. Big third period ahead. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go!
Mississauga. Hello, Jesse. You might be wondering why we made an ad specifically for you. Because, Jesse, you see, we're fighting poverty any way we can. Even cold calling a complete stranger over the radio. Bold, isn't it? Together, we can make sure everyone has what they need, like food, housing, good jobs, and mental health supports. Join people like Jesse to build a better GTA. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org. Thanks, Jesse.
Your sneakers are staring directly at you. You try to look away, but you can't. You're lace to face. They're saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your six-pack won't be either. But you've got to start somewhere. Stop staring. Put us on. Take that first step, or lunge, or squat. Start small. Start somewhere. Join for $7.99 every 2 weeks at fitforlast.ca and experience fitness simplified. Some conditions apply. Fit for Last. Everybody happy.
Deep breath, piano pickup, hockey drop-off. Ooh, did you remember the Farm Boy cupcakes for afterwards? And dinner.
We got this. Voila delivered our groceries this morning. Cupcakes are in the back seat.
Got 'em.
And I got some ready-made pulled pork and Longo's fresh buns for dinner.
Ooh.
Plus, some compliments hot chocolate. A little reward for surviving tonight.
You're on a roll, honey.
Voila delivers fresh groceries from Sobeys, Farm Boy, and Longo's at the same prices in-store with no hidden fees. Voila, your groceries delivered just like that.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. We have Dallas a 3-1 over LA at the end of the first period. Jason Robertson, Duchesne, Stankoven scoring for the Stars, Warren Fogle scoring for the LA Kings. The other game of the night is about set to start, the Wild in Colorado against the Avs. In our game, it is 2-1 for the Leafs, and the goals going to OEL and Nylander. Zibanejad replying for the Rangers. Third period is next on Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
MLB Network Radio gets you ready for opening day with a tour of spring training.
The best time of the year.
Hear interviews with all-stars.
This is Mookie Betts.
I'm Adley Rutschman. I'm Aaron Judge. And insights and analysis of all 30 clubs.
The biggest thing here in spring camp is there's a different aura.
Offensively, this guy is just a machine. Talk baseball with our experts on Channel 89 in the car. And listen to your favorite team spring training show on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
We head to the third period with the Maple Leafs holding a 2-1 lead over the Rangers from New York, trying to extend a winning streak. The Leafs will be in Pittsburgh to complete this road trip on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Oh, great. We just have to help out the Pittsburgh Penguins by having an afternoon game, screwing up our body clocks, Mr. Ralph. I know the guys out west understand what we're going through here, having to do this in the afternoon.
Anything for Sid.
Oh, well, all right. I guess that's applicable. I can go with that.
Yeah, so we're, of course, going to the comments made when the Leafs were in Edmonton.
Oh, yeah.
It was a, what?
TV.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
TV has to take control. Well, TV is taking control. It's called ESPN.
Yeah. It's also called hockey-related revenue. So,
that bears some importance when it comes to contracts, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, good. So we've had a look at the Stolarz play that we initially, and rightly so, my confrere over here, thought that it was in the non-trapezoidal area, and we have now seen video evidence that was about a foot.
Yeah, it should have been called. Maybe that was the makeup call. Of course, I also said John Tavares scored the second Leaf goal.
Well, we got a couple of things right. Leafs are a man short to start the third period. As they clear it down, they defend the goal to our left, the Rangers to the right. Zibanejad dropping it back, and the New Yorkers bring it out. Brought to center by Panarin, in on the right side, driving wide and going around back of the net. It's played back to the point near side. Miller over on the right wing side, in front of the goal. Good play by Marner to lift the stick of the Ranger player in the slot. And the Leafs come up with the loose puck and send it down the ice. Then the goaltender plays it up off a stick down into the Toronto zone. Leafs are going to get to it first and out and down the ice. That'll teach the Sturkin. You got to play it in the non-trapezoidal area to make a play like that.
Well, I think Stolarz thought that was icing still, didn't he? He had his arm up.
Probably was, too. Played around the board, so down we're even. As far as goaltenders playing the puck. Rangers with it down into the corner. Timmins getting to it, but he hits the chest of Zibanejad, who keeps it in, and a shot is deflected over top of the net, and this is going to carry him out and down the ice with 50 seconds left in the penalty. Yeah, why wouldn't that have been icing? Brought out now by Zach Jones. He's going to drop it back. Carried through neutral ice and into the zone and in on the wing by Andre Miller to the right wing side. Marner almost intercepted that. It comes back to Miller on the left point. Walks down, got a shot towards the net. Stopped by Stolarz, and the rebound he stopped as well. 22 seconds left in the penalty. Back to the point once more. Near side a drive, and it's whistled wide. Rebound far side kept alive by Riley Smith. Back to the point, another point shot stopped by Stolarz, and the rebound is corralled and set out and down the ice by David Camp. Penalty will expire in 3 seconds. Zach Jones carries it out.
That had to be half a dozen shot attempts at the net.
Played down into the Toronto end. Stolarz out of the goal in the area above the non-trapezoidal area. Brought to the line and in. That looked like it was offside, but the Leafs are going to get a break and keep it in. It'll come along on the far side. Stolen back. Trying to work in front of the net was Nylander. He can't get it as it comes in front. Loose puck back of the goal for Tavares. Tavares now trying to wrap around. He was tripped. And the referee from behind calls it a cross-check. And the Leafs are going to go to the power play with a chance to open up a 2-goal lead.
Okay. To take my homer hat off, I don't think that's a penalty either. I think because of the tight turn by Tavares, trying to get to the front of the net, lost an edge, and now we're not going to see the highlight. We're going to watch Anthony Stolarz go to work on numerous shot attempts towards the goal.
I'm going to put my homer hat on and say, what do you know?
I know Anthony Stolarz got. See, that's not a penalty. Did you agree?
Leafs on the power play, and it's shot out and down the ice, and the power play is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy winter to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Once I read that commercial, it is definitely a power play. And it is cleared by the Rangers to the blue line. Marner trying to lift the stick, but can't. And it is shot down the ice by New York.
Boy, this first unit's got to do something here. Be huge to have a 2-goal lead early in the third.
Morgan Riley out with the first unit, so they're not going with 6 forwards. Played down into the corner, rattled around the boards to the far side. Riley's going to get there to keep it in, sends it into the right wing corner. Grabbed off there and rifled off the glass, and down the ice it'll go. And Stolarz, making sure he is in the trapezoidal area, will leave it behind the net. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who opened the scoring for Toronto. Gets it dropped back. The Leafs with Robertson to the line and in, trying to kick it free. He does. Works to the left wing board, stops up. Tried to saucer it back to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but it was blocked. Rangers with a short-handed rush. Get it in front of the goal and score! Nick Robertson trying to make a pass at the blue line. Has it picked off. And the 2-on-1 against OEL ends up costing the Leafs a shorthanded goal, and it's nothing new to the Rangers. They are third in the league with 10 now shorthanded goals.
Mika Zibanejad and Will Cooley go to work. And not only did Robertson turn it over, he then stumbled in trying to regain his positioning to make it a 2-on-2, and then Zibanejad with the perfect pass from the right wing side to the middle of the ice. Cooley skates into it, and then a little forehand backhand chip over the glove of Anthony Stolarz. And even though he talked about you need something from the first power play unit, second power play unit gives up a shorty.
Second shorthanded goal of the season for Cooley, and now a shot rings off the goal post. And the Leafs are dodging bullets here. Played down into the New York zone. 2 great rushes shorthanded. One ties the game. The other almost gave them the lead. 16 seconds to go, and it's got the raucous gathering on a Friday night in Manhattan going at Madison Square Garden. Leafs with 4 seconds left in the power play will start out ahead for Myers. He's going to shoot it in around the boards. Far side, blockered into the corner. Camp gets it back to the point. Wrist shot off a leg, weak wide of the net. In along the near boards, Lorenz. And it'll be played high to center ice, and the Leafs, McCabe knocking it down. He'll get to the red line. Got it up ahead. Camp couldn't handle the puck cleanly, but then gets across the line. In for Reeves. And he tried to kick it from his skate to his stick, and he's not nearly as good at that as Mitch Marner is. Now back in for Reeves. He's going to poke it into the corner. He'll go in to do something that he is good at, and that's lay the body in on his man. Jones got it freed up, and the Rangers get to center and shoot it in. Down on the left wing boards. New York trying to play it back into the slot. A shot, and Stolarz snaps the leather out to take that away from the bread man, Artemi Panarin.
Well, the Leafs streak is on the line, 25-0 when leading after the second period. And the Rangers have not had a lot of comebacks in the third. 4-22-1 when trailing after 2. But the Leafs gift-wrapped a couple of opportunities. One off the crossbar. One did find the net shorthanded by Will Cooley. And for Cooley, that's his second shorthanded goal of the season.
We're going to suggest that the goal by, as the Rangers win the draw, and they shoot it over top of the goal. The goal by Nylander was a breakaway goal. That would be 14 breakaways on the year. 6 times he has scored. Played ahead out at center. Leafs can't get it ahead to Nylander breaking. Played right back into the zone. Pontus Holmberg after it as it comes back to the point. Rangers ring the boards back of the net. Chip to the far wall, and it's cleared back to the point, but kept in, and a shot knocked away by Stolarz, and it'll be Holmberg deep in his own zone looking to get it out for Tavares. but it was intercepted and now backhanded back in as the Rangers will change. Timmins is going to the bench. He leaves it for Myers. Myers steps out. A pass up on the left wing side. A pass ahead for Matthews, in over the line, cleared in by Nyes, back of the net. Shesterkin had it blocked. Matthews comes out with a centering pass. They score! A terrible error back of the net by Shesterkin. Matthews strips him of the puck, and Matthew Nyes restores a 1-goal Toronto lead.
What makes this play, Joe, is Mitch Marner. He jumps up against the glass and the boards to get a piece of the clearing attempt in behind the Ranger net. And in doing so, Zach Jones has no idea where it is. Matthews finds it between the feet of Jones and then simply spins out, finds Matthew Nyes wide open at the top of the crease, and he snaps it past Shesterkin. But Mitch Marner, I mean, this is, hopefully they're going to give him the second assist on this, because that play is what kept the puck alive in behind the Ranger net.
So the Maple Leafs have 3 goals, and they have been pretty good when they've scored 3 times. Throughout the course of the year, 34 wins. Brought out now by New York. Cooley across the line, off a stick and into the far corner. It'll be Nyes from Matthews and Marner getting the assist. The goal comes at 6:21. So no sooner asked, Mr. Ralph, than granted.
What a smart play, though. I mean, he knows
really was
exactly what Shesterkin is going to do.
Rangers get it in with a pass into the slot, and Panarin was knocked off stride as he tried to get the shot away. Back into the corner, far side. Panarin centers it, comes back towards the blue line. Rangers keeping it alive. Into the slot. Trocheck with a shot blocked. Another shot. That deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Played up on the boards, and it'll be punched out into neutral ice. 12:30 to play in the third period. Toronto 3, the New York Rangers 2. A hit there by McMahon almost dislodged the puck, but the Rangers regroup it, and they start out with a pass up on the left wing. Panarin sends it into the slot area. It's going to be broken up by the Leafs and played off the boards to center by McMahon, but the Rangers come away with it again. Zibanejad trying to step in there. Good play by Myers to break up the rush, and it's shot out into the center ice area. Leafs with it, back in his own zone. Myers getting it off, and played by Timmins down into Ranger territory. Schneider goes back. Reeves with a bit of a hit, comes back to Benoit. Benoit gets it back to center. They'll regroup it back in the Toronto zone. McCabe looks up ice, still has it. Back to Benoit. Benoit's pass deflects deep into the zone, and it'll be Lorenz in on the forecheck getting a hit, and the Rangers are able to break it out at center. New York in on the right side. A pass into the slot. A bouncing disc sent to the net. Blockered away nicely by Stolars. And as it crept to the side of the goal, the Leaf netminder puts the glove on it to stop play. And a face-off will come in the Toronto zone. Matthew Nyes gets the Leafs the lead back with 11:21 to go in the third. 3-2 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Baseball season's almost here at MLB.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us on another Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game. This is where it started here on Toronto Sports Insider, the Maple Leafs. That's what we do every single game live. We appreciate you being here. Please take a minute to hit that like button down below and share this link out so that we can get more Maple Leafs fans and hockey fans here in the chat to help this amazing community grow. Now let's get back to the hockey. Cheers, insiders. Cheers, hockey fans. Let's go, Buds. Let's get the W tonight.
An expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Salah to score!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
We talked about Mitch Marner's hockey sense. Here's a play that never even thinks about touching the puck with his stick or his skates. Makes a great play back of the goal.
Just throws himself up against the glass because he knows Shesterkin is trying to ring it around the glass. And then all the chaos that ensues after the defenseman. Nobody knows where it is. But Austin Matthews finds it first between the skates of the defenseman and spots Matthew Nyes. You give Nyes credit as well. He hadn't scored 4 straight. Goes to the net. Austin Matthews, by the way, now 8-game point streak, 11 points, but only 1 goal, and that was the empty netter against Carolina.
Leafs win the faceoff. Wasn't done correctly. The assist by Marner ties him with legendary Toronto Maple Leaf captain George Armstrong with 713 career points, all in a Leaf uniform, which is 5th most. Solomon would be next with 768. Leafs turn the puck over at the blue line. Rangers keeping it in. Slide it into the corner, looking for a man in front of the net with Zibanejad, who now gets around the boards to the near point for Miller. Condre Miller gets it back to Zibanejad, back to the point. More materializing there, so the faceoff will come out into the center ice area.
You talk about hockey IQ. I remember asking Rick Dudley once, who I've got a lot of respect for, a longtime NHL executive and former player. I said, you go and scout a player. I said, what do you look for? And he said 2 things: hockey intelligence, hockey IQ, and character. He said, because you cannot teach either one.
No.
Everything else you can teach. Mm-hmm. But that you've either got or you don't.
And when you talk about Marner and his IQ as we get up, icing call here.
Now, is there Leafs getting a penalty coming up here? Showing Willie Nylander, there might be a high sticking penalty coming up to Nylander. I don't know if anybody saw it.
Lindgren is worried about his face, but nothing.
I don't know if anybody saw it.
I don't either.
There was an icing on the play. Nylander is...
Nope, not gone to the bench, although he's skating around. No, they are going to call it.
Counter number 88's got 2 minutes for high sticking.
No, he's followed through, and he just kind of carelessly slung his stick, and it clips.
It is the right call. Lindgren draws it.
So the Rangers go to the power play, the Leafs to the penalty kill, brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Rangers are 0 for 2 with the man advantage thus far in the game. McCabe talking with his defense partner Benoit as David Camp will slide in to take the faceoff. Marner is out there with him. And the draw scrummed, kicked back on the boards. Rangers keep it in. Swing it into the far corner. Benoit got there first, chopped it up the boards. Couldn't get it freed up. Shot goes wide of the net. McCabe gets there first. Can he get it elevated enough? And does, to get it out and down the ice. Good hustle by McCabe. And a good bit of stick work there to get his stick on it and get enough on it to get it down the ice. Zibanejad starts up ice for New York. Leafs with a 3-2 lead. Zibanejad in on the right side. Benoit takes him wide. McCabe took his man into the corner. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Is steered wide in along the boards. Grabbed off there by Marner, who tried to poke it free. It comes to the side of the net. Rangers get it back to the point to keep it in. Oh, and it bounced over the stick of the New York defenseman. They have to wait for teammates to get onside. Jones, or at least T.J. Miller, gets it back into the zone. Miller back into the slot. A shot. That's blocked and quickly sent down the ice by the Leaf penalty killers.
The Ranger power play has looked dangerous. But a lot of just missed opportunities, like we saw there. Pass back to the point, bounces over the stick of Schneider.
Rangers bring it to the line and in on the right side. Playing it back to Jones at the right point. Gets it back on the half boards, looking in front of the net for Brodzinski. To the point of the near side. Miller's shot, blocked, rebound! Jammed at! That's got a big pile up in front. And outstretched right leg of Stolarz is wedged up against the post to make sure that didn't trickle in underneath him. And he holds it for a face-off with 9:06 to play in the period.
I mean, Rangers are very good at this. Will Cooley in front of the net. Johnny Brodzinski is there as well. And this is just Keandre Miller saying, I'm throwing it into traffic. And Stolarz makes the original stop and then has to look through the maze to find it.
31 seconds left in the Ranger penalty. 31 shots for New York. 13 for the Maple Leafs. And you talked a lot at the start of the game about how the Rangers were doing exactly this.
Well, the opposite.
Exactly.
They weren't getting shots.
But scoring. At the point, Jones' shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Marner won't reach it as it comes around the boards. Cut off there by McCabe. And he wires it, but into the bench.
I think that might have gone in between the benches. I don't know who's the broadcaster that might be there. It was the New York Ranger broadcaster. You see Rob Ray the other day.
Did you see what they gave him?
Yeah.
Bubble wrap?
Yeah. I know when it happened. You and I talked. I said we saw Rob Ray, former tough guy with the Buffalo Sabres, and great broadcaster, took one right between the eyes.
Twice?
Yep.
Draw, scrum. The puck comes back up on the boards. The Rangers keep it in. Along the wall, 10 seconds left in the penalty. Miller trying to center. There's a scramble, and the Leafs have come out with it. David Camp with one man back. He gets to the line, now trying to drive. Took a look over his shoulder, got a backhand, then a centering pass, and almost got another whack at it. He could have stepped right out on second thought here, with time elapsing on the penalty. But from a fairly sharp angle and in close, he never really got much of the net to look at.
I think what he was doing was waiting for Nylander to come out of the box. That's why he didn't have that straight line drive. And I'm not sure if Nylander had just gone to the bench or was trying to play defense first, but never did arrive.
It is 3-2 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The all-electric Honda Prologue SUV is here at your local Ontario Honda dealer. And with features perfect for the city and the backcountry, like all-wheel drive for tougher winter roads and a range up to 450 kilometers on a full charge, you may think Honda made an electric SUV just for Ontario. Get up to a $12,000 Honda bonus on all remaining 2024 Prologue models. Plus, qualified Honda owners get an additional $2,000 loyalty bonus. OAC conditions apply. Range based on combined city and highway. Bonus available when you lease or finance through HFS at a standard rate. See HondaOntario.com.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Jan owns a home and a restaurant fusing French and Mexican cuisine. But she is fusing no more because her ovens have gone kaput. She called Alpine Credits, who sent their speedy superhero. With her business loan approved, her ovens were quickly fixed. The hero even had some of her poutine nachos. Yum! Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Maple Leafs own a 3-2 lead. Matthew Nyes getting the goal. Matthew setting it up and Mitch Marner creating it. I think is a good way to describe that, Mr. Roth. Leafs win the draw. Shot well wide. It comes to the side of the goal, and T.J. Miller decided that maybe goaltender Shesterkin should stop play, so he got a glove on it.
Tavares flying out on the ice on his Holmberg, looking to extend his goal-scoring streak to 4. 4 games. He's got 4 goals in the 3 previous.
Nylander off the face-off win, carried into the corner, thought better of driving the net, works it around back of the goal. Centering pass by Holmberg went off his stick. Rangers will get it out at center and flip it to the line, and Morgan Riley trying to send it out, had it hit a leg. Rangers with it around back of the net. Good deflection in front of the goal by Myers. Back to the left wing side. Rangers keep it in, but the shot was blocked by Nylander. Volleyballed into the corner then by Myers. Myers trying to get it up on the wing, and it won't clear. It's back behind the net. Myers having to stick handle around a broken twig there as Robertson plays off on the left wing side for Riley. Riley just gets it a couple of feet further. Now has it handed back to him, and he'll get it up ahead, but Robertson couldn't help him out. Rangers back in their own zone. Max Domi lost his stick, and it's the Rangers bringing it back in. Cleared back out at center, then shot back in by Zach Jones of the Rangers. And out of the net is Stolarz to play it into the corner for Timmins. Timmins getting it ahead. A pass off a stick, off of Domi, doesn't get into the Ranger zone. Brought back by Panarin. Panarin in on the left wing, stops it up, gets it back to the point. Long shot, redirected in front of the net wide. 7 minutes to play here in the third period. Puck kept in by New York. Pass into the slot area, trying to get a bounce. It comes free, and McCabe takes it very coolly around back of his goal and starts up the left wing with a flip pass that'll get down into New York territory. Played back out at center. Leafs get it back to Bobby McMahon, who can't get it into the zone. Leafs haven't been able to get control of the puck in the center ice area to even shoot it into the zone. Again, it comes out into neutral ice, but again, the Rangers have it, and again, they shoot it right back in again. Stolarz into the corner. Morgan Riley, a pass goes off a stick. Rangers get it again and get it right back in. Here's Miller working into the corner and getting it back to the point over on the left wing side. Trying to work in is Lindgren, a shot. Pad save Stolarz. 32 shots on goal. Right wing side, back it comes again. Lindgren trying to get a shot at the net but can't. Blocked, it comes back to Lindgren. Long shot blocked in front of the net by Myers. Leafs can't get it out. Working against the top line. JT Miller. Left wing side, Lindgren down into the corner. Zibanejad. Back it goes to Miller. A shot blockered into the corner by Stolarz. Rangers have been in the Leafs zone for about 40 seconds. Here the Rangers again with it into the slot, and that was shot wide. And they just need to get it out. And finally, Nyes does get it down just to the blue line, and the Leafs will get a change.
Boy, this is 3 shifts in a row. The Leafs unable to, as you said, make that pass through the center ice area.
Played back into the Toronto end, up against the boards. Rangers with it once more. Knocked off a stick, and Lorenz will skate to center, and the Leafs' fourth line is the group that finally gets it down into the offensive zone. Reeves along the boards cycles it back for Lorenz, trying to work his way out in front. Got a shot away. That was stopped on the short side by Shesterkin. Up against the end boards. Lorenz gets a piece of his man, but the Rangers are able to break it out. They'll come to center and shoot it in. Round on the wall to the far side and back of the net. McCabe settles it down for Toronto. Steps smartly out in front of his own goal, then decides to retreat behind the net as the Leafs are making a change. Now he steps even smarter out in front of his own net and gets to center. Nylander will shoot it into the zone for him. Round on the boards cut off there by Tavares. Tavares down into the left wing corner. JT around back of the net. Doesn't shoot it. Comes out to the near half board. Stops up there. Now back in front of the net with a pass that was blocked. Nylander against the board sends it back in. Pontus Holmberg couldn't come up with it. 4:15 to play in the third. The Leafs leading 3-2.
Heard that Oliver Ekman-Larsson's gone to the dressing room, Joe.
All right. And over the line now with a pass into the left wing corner. A sharp angle shot is blocked. And it's banked out at center ice. Not sure when that would have happened. Played off the end boards back into the near corner. Leafs almost steal the puck with Domi. McCabe punching it back in over the line and deeper into Ranger territory. And now 3:40 to play in the third. Lindgren. Hopefully someone will be keeping an eye on Shesterkin for us to tell us when he's coming out of the net. Played down into the Toronto zone. McCabe, who's played a lot of ice time here, got it ahead, brought out at center, and Bobby McMahon on the left wing going wide. McMahon with a shot from a sharp angle. That went wide of the net, and it comes all the way to center ice. And Matthews is back there to regroup it for Toronto. Now Benoit back in on the left wing. McMahon going wide and around back of the goal. Stopped up there to get it to Matthews. Matthews has his puck come free, plays it back at the net for Marner. Marner coming out, turns back into the corner. Now swings it back along the boards for Matthews. Matthews does a great job to get it to the point. Near side for Morgan Riley. Riley can't send it to the net, so he sends it around the boards. Matthews trying to help out there, and so is Nyes. Nyes comes away with the puck to the point. Benoit shot. Pats a backhand try, and that went wide. But time being eaten up here by the first line on a great job. Nyes centering pass, broken up by the Rangers, and they'll get it out at center ice with 2.5 minutes to play. Shot into the Toronto zone. Riley reverses the puck nicely to Marner. Both teams are trying to get a change in with 2:20 left to play in the third. Leafs leading 3-2. Brought on by Pontus Holmberg. And across the line. Tried to drop it back for Tavares, but it was knocked off his stick. Rangers, Miller bringing it to center, and he's going to shoot it in. Round the boards it comes to the near wing. Play it around back of the net. Now the Rangers without a goaltender in the goal. Played up on the wing and out at center ice. 6 attackers for New York. Leafs with a 3-2 lead. Down into the Toronto zone it goes. Kicked by Tavares around back of the net. Gobbled up here by the Rangers. Played back to the point. Miller walks the line. Drops it off for Panarin. Back at the blue line. Panarin won't shoot it. Weak side on the near boards, and Zibanejad is swallowed up by Stolars with 1:38 to go in the third period, and I would imagine the New Yorkers will probably take a timeout.
Well, we're getting another look at that redirection by Austin Matthews. This puck is in an awkward area as he's got his back to the Ranger goal, and he somehow positions his stick in between his legs to redirect it, and Shesterkin had to make a pretty difficult left pad save. And you're right, the Rangers have called a timeout. Anthony Stolars has been brilliant again, 32 of 34. He has stopped. Last time he had back-to-back starts was when he was injured in December. He had that great win in New Jersey when the Leafs shouldn't have gotten out of the Meadowlands with a 2-1 win. Well, I guess it's not the Meadowlands anymore, is it?
No.
Albany? No. What? Where do they play again?
Oh, at the not the Meadowlands, but in
the Prudential Center.
Prudential Center in Newark.
Newark, yeah.
Yeah.
Lost that for a minute.
Lovely downtown, picturesque Newark, New Jersey. Vacation hotspot of the Garden State. Face off to the right in the Leaf zone. And the draw won by Toronto. Benoit swinging it around the boards. It goes off a Ranger player and down the ice. Minute 30 to go. Panarin back of the net. Got it up on the right wing side. Rangers get to center. In across the line. Broken up by the Leafs at the blue line. Shot towards the empty net. Missed. And an icing call will come. I think it was Marner.
Yeah.
Who got it away. And actually, it was a great opportunity.
Yeah. And what happened?
Didn't have another option, really.
Yeah, what happened was Marner actually made the play at the Leaf blue line to intercept it. So maybe it had a little more time because the Rangers had to clear, but certainly was outnumbered.
Face off to the left of Stolars. Cross scrummed in the circle, grabbed off by Camp. He tries for the empty net, and he missed. And another icing. Minute 9 to go. 2 attempts.
You know, a lot of people think, and I think it as well, when you're thinking, how could an NBA player miss from the free throw line? You think you've done it your whole life, uncontested. You feel the same thing even when a guy tries from his own end into the empty net. You think, boy, they should be that good that it's easy, but
I'm not sure how often you get to practice it or try it. Well, the other situation was the bank shot by Matthews. Rangers win the draw. They get it down into the corner. Marner stole it, kicked ahead. Another long shot at the empty net. Miss. Another icing, 54.3. Matthews missing this time. So the Leafs have had 3 whacks at it.
David Kemp, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner. All opportunities at the empty net. Now the face-offs as important as the empty nets.
Miller facing off with Matthews. And the draw won by the Rangers. Back to the point, Panarin. Dropped along on the near board, Zibanejad back to Panarin. Panarin with a shot in traffic, knocked away. And Stolar's down to recover as it comes around into the near corner. Back to the blue line. Kept alive there by Miller. To the far side. Rangers get it back to Panarin in the high slot at the blue line. To Miller, shot off a leg block. Leafs can't get to it. Kept alive by Panarin. Over on the near side for Miller. Miller gets it down into the corner. Now back to JT Miller. He has difficulties with it, but Panarin sends it to the net. Leafs trying to get it off the boards. Tripped up there was one of the Rangers, but no call. Dozen seconds left. Benoit trying desperately to hang on to that puck at the side of the net. Leaf stick handle out of the way. Get it out at center. Hurry, Mitch. Nope. Had his pocket picked, but who cares? Time runs out. And the Leafs win a tight one thanks to Anthony Stolarz, who blocks 32 of 34 shots.
At the other end, the Leafs held to 17, but it seemed whenever they needed a goal, they were able to get one. And the TSN turning point, Joe, had to be in the third period. Rangers had already scored shorthanded to tie it up 2-2. Then they hit another crossbar. Their second in 2 periods, and the Leafs' Matthew Nyes goes back to the other end and restores the Leafs' 1-goal lead. And Rangers defeated the Leafs 3-1 earlier in the season, where Igor Shesterkin was the first star, stopping 34 of 35. This time, Anthony Stolarz reverses the table. And, he was outstanding, giving up 4 in the 5-4 win over the Boston Bruins 3 nights ago. He is easily the first star in this game for the Leafs. And for the Rangers, they came into this game with a game in hand, 4 points back of Columbus and Detroit for a playoff spot. And any loss for the Rangers now is going to be put squarely into the devastation category of the standings.
Oh, no question. And they were the desperate team. The Leafs were just trying to do something by getting back into first place. They were trailing Florida by... But now, with one game in hand, they have a 1-point lead.
Yeah, and now Tampa Bay Lightning, though, they're kind of the quiet story right now in the East. The Leafs were just 2 points ahead of Tampa, even games played, before this one. So back 4 up on Tampa, 1 up on Florida for first in the division. And not that you get Detroit or Columbus or say Ottawa gets in or the New York Rangers or Bruins. It wouldn't be an easy first round. But boy, wouldn't you like to have Tampa and Florida, one take the other out? So you wouldn't have to go through them twice if you got that far. But big road trip for the Leafs coming out of the break. They lose the last game in Vancouver going into the break, and now have won 4 straight since, including 3 straight on the road.
13 games they have played against non-playoff teams. The last 13 games, they've won 12 of them, including tonight. Another team that is reeling and not in the postseason are the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Leafs will tangle with them on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Way to go. Let's change the time just to make sure TV feels okay. I hope the boys in Edmonton are listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We're going to actually enjoy the 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, we are.
Aren't we?
I want more of them.
Exactly. We'll be right here at TSN to bring you that game as the Penguins will entertain the Maple Leafs, and we hope that you will join us at 1 o'clock start. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart coming along with the post-game show. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
And the Oscar.
What's up, insiders? With the green Leafs flying through the chat. I love it. Get some, ladies and gentlemen. We did got another W. Another win. Ladies and gentlemen, the Leafs are on fire. The Leafs are en fuego. Let's go, Leafs fans. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. The 3-2 victory at Madison Square Garden. Well, we get to hang out with our friends, watching the Leafs, hanging out together here on Toronto Sports Insider. Good night to everybody. If you are leaving now, we'll see you tomorrow for the Toronto FC versus Orlando City game. At least just stop in and say hi. We will let the post-game run for a little bit, but we will be sending you early tonight to the Raptors game here in Chicago. We got to go cheer our Raptors on and get the W here in Chicago. Tanty Angie, great to see you. Thank you for hanging. Is it Tanty or is it Angie? Which one would you prefer when I see you in the chat to say hi? There you go. We got Brandy Gale saying good night. Happy birthday, Brandy. 24 all over again. Congratulations. Enjoy your 24th birthday. And then we'll see you again next February to celebrate number 24 once again. All right, there you go. We got Everett as well. Everett, that's a TFC fan right there. Everett, spam that chat with TFC logos because we're going to get some points down in Orlando tomorrow. We'll let the postgame run here to celebrate the Leafs' victory for about another, I don't know, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then we'll send you guys over to that Raptors game. I love it. There's Dr. Dupree, the real big boss man. Dupree, thank you for hanging out with us all of these years, I say, but it's only really been 1 year. But since we really kicked this back into high gear. But I just have to say thank you before they come on here for the postgame. Cheers, insiders. Cheers to all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me every single Leafs game, every single Raptors game, every single TSI game. This is my dreams come true. We have one subscriber away from 87,700. Who is out there that's listening that's going to make that subscribe button hit that 87,700? This is what it's about. I love sports. I love Toronto sports. TFC till I die. Been a Leafs fan since I was about, Blue Jays, all that. Just had a big night with some friends here, and lots of good stuff happening here for Toronto Sports Insider. I'm going to be MIA for about the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be doing as little as possible in these games. I'm sorry, but I have to prepare for this Bracket Mania challenge. I'm not really a YouTube guy. It's not really my thing. But now they're saying I have YouTube's like really pushing me to kind of put my face out here more. So I'm going to listen to them because we're getting close to 100,000 subscribers. Good night, insiders. There it is, 87,700. Good night, Mr. Brennan. Go Leafs, go. Carmen, Brad, Brandy, all of you. Andrew Hurd, the man. Andrew Hurd, thank you for the support. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for being an insider. All of you. Miss V in Vegas, thank you for being here. God, Miss V, it's still early. Go win some money out in Vegas for us. We'll see you guys in the Raptors stream once we send you over. It's about 15 minutes of the post-game show. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers.
On McKenzie, and when the opportunity came to add him, we just felt it was the right move for us, long term.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
I'm sorry, I had to. Miss V right over there. God, I'm really trying to get used to this new studio setup. But Miss V, there it is. I love it. I can't. I'm too young. You go, girl. You're only as young as you feel. I feel like I'm 23 tonight. Sorry, ladies. Feeling good. 24 for you. Good night. Go Leafs, go.
On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Game night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Dozen seconds left. Benoit trying desperately to hang on to that puck at the side of the net. Leafs stick handle out of their way. Get it out at center. Hurry, Mitch. Nope, had his pocket picked, but who cares? Time runs out. And the Leafs win a tight one thanks to Anthony Stolars, who blocks 32 of 34 shots.
Leafs win at 3-2 on the road. Nice little streak. 4 wins in a row since the schedule was resumed starting last Saturday. 3 of them on the road, as Ralphie detailed at the end of the game. Welcome to Leafs Game Night. Jim Taddy, Anthony Stewart, and Ralphie kind enough to hang around. And Ralphie, I don't know about you, but this was a game that if it was a year ago, they would have lost. And the game-winning goal for me is one they would have allowed. That's just a really smart game-winning goal, isn't it?
Yeah, and yet, it was pretty scary. I think, as we were saying, the TSN turning point.
Yeah.
You give up the shorthanded goal, then they come back again and hit the crossbar, and a few minutes later, Matthew Nyes restores the 1-goal lead. So, as much as you love the record, every team goes through this. I was watching Florida and Edmonton the other night. I actually turned off Vancouver-Anaheim after the first period last night, which was stupid because Vancouver didn't hold the 2-0 lead. But you don't see perfect games, and I think we can say they were outshot badly. The power play was abysmal again and didn't generate anything. Even though Ekman Larsson does score on the end of it with the second unit on the ice, and yet on the other side of it, you say they're finding a way. 26-0 now and leading into the third. They found a way against Boston. They weren't great against Chicago. Until the second period, they get on the board with 3. So it's finding a way to win games that sometimes you need a moment from certain players. And the moment they got in the third period outside of Anthony Stolarz was the Matthew Nyes goal. And very quietly, Austin Matthews has a point streak now of, 8 games. 11 points in 8 games, but only 1 goal, and that was the empty netter against Carolina. So, different formulas to find yourself in the win column, and tonight was a formula that we've seen a little bit this year, but not quite the same script as early in the road trip.
Yeah, they didn't do the best job in handling the puck, but their last line of defense was Stolarz, who made the most of the 23 giveaways that the Leafs had. So how do you rate his performance tonight, other than his 33 saves?
Well, I mean, he moves so well for a big guy. And that's what, sort of amazes you most goalies are big guys now, but I think when you look at, say, somebody like UC Saros, who's 5'10", 5'11", and you say, boy, there's a smaller guy that's got to be really active in net. And Stolarz is the same way. And, it's almost embarrassing to admit this because, you watched Eddie Belfour through most of his career. He comes to Toronto and you're saying, boy, I'm impressed with Ed Belfour. Watching him every minute of every game that he's played, you're even more impressed than you were before. And for Anthony Stolarz, you thought, okay, he's a good depth guy. Hopefully Joseph Wall can stay healthy and provide them with some goaltending. But Stolarz, just watching him on a regular basis, he even gives up 4 in Boston 2 nights ago. And arguably their best player on the ice, or most important player. So he has just been, to me, a surprise. But the goaltending is a huge, huge reason why they're in first place.
I'd like your take on this. I mean, there are others that do it, but he does it as well as anybody. Pad on the ice, down low, and the puck's underneath that pad, and somehow they can't push his leg across the line. I mean, he's able to anchor that leg. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, and almost, I'm not going to make a Dominic Hasek comparison overall, but, Hasek was always forward when the puck was in tight. Forward almost, trying to keep them from being able to go top shelf in tight. Stolarz does that. You see when the puck is around the blue paint, he leans forward to take that angle away to go top shelf on it, which isn't easy to do because you're constantly readjusting and battling. But he does that on a regular basis, and he's just been so consistent, if not spectacular, during his stretch with the Leafs.
Pretty decent night by the fourth line, led by Ryan Reeves, who had 4 hits in his 9 minutes. Can you just maybe expand a little bit on talking about his role? Like, everyone was expecting him to come in and have a big tilt with Rempe, but for him, it's just more so neutralizing it. Where I think maybe I've heard you guys mention Rempe's name maybe once or twice the whole entire broadcast.
Yeah, I think it was Stewie, where it's one of those that we're going to make the change because and. When you look at the Boston Bruins, you're saying, okay, is there anybody that could get out of the line for the Bruins that you have to respond to if necessary? And there wasn't. But you obviously come into this game, a road game, and Matt Rempe, I think he himself, Stewie, is trying to make a name for himself as being a two-way player, that he's just not one-dimensional. But I think it was important for Ryan Reeves to be in the lineup in case. You know what? You're going to start running our guys. You're going to have to pay the price, or one of your guys are. So I think it was a smart move by Craig Berube. He's obviously been a reason other teams would dress tough guys when he played. So I just thought, the fourth line at times, and in the third period, it was, remember the first three lines couldn't get the puck out of their own zone. They couldn't make a pass through center. Fourth line comes out, dump it in, get in after it, and Reeves and Lorenz and Camp were great on the forecheck, and didn't really get a great scoring chance out of it, but killed some pretty important minutes.
I find so many times we're referring to things that went the other way. So obviously a 3-0 lead in Boston, but by Boston, and the Leafs were able to rally. That doesn't happen often. Tonight, it's 2-1. Early in the third period, you're on a power play, golden opportunity, shorthanded goal, and in the past that would have been a sag. But less than 3 minutes later, they get the eventual game-winning goal. This team has a resiliency that we haven't seen, right?
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's confidence. I don't know whether it's learning how to win games like this on a more consistent basis. We talk about it all the time that in playoffs, you've got to find different ways to win, whether it's depth scoring, whether it's goaltending, whether it's special teams, which really haven't been, the reason they've won games and hasn't been great over the last stretch, but they have found a way to do it. And the other thing I wanted to bring up, the play by Mitch Marner on the Nyes goal. I mean, the hockey IQ, I don't know if you heard. No, it was Rick Dudley in Atlanta when you were there, Stewie?
He was, yes.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Rick Dudley. And I remember asking him once, I said, okay, you go and scout somebody. What are you looking for? And he said two things. One is hockey intelligence. The other is character. He said, because you cannot teach either one. Guys either have it or they don't. And the intelligence of Mitch Marner is through the roof, because Shesterkin loads up behind the net, and Marner knows what he's going to do. He's going to try to put it off the glass. So you watch it. Marner's feet are about 3 feet off the air. When he just throws himself up against the glass, blocks the puck, Matthews finds it and gets it out to Nyes. But just those little plays that turn into, game-winning moments for them, it's just absolutely incredible.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson left the game midway through the third period, so that coupled with Tanev already being out, does that sort of add a little bit of urgency to try to find a defenseman or two before Friday's deadline?
Yeah, I think so, Stu. And in talking about this before, I've said that it's not so much that you say, okay, Benoit can't play in your top six, because I think he can, but it's for moments like this that if you lose a couple of guys or three guys, you want to make sure that you've got the depth that you can plug guys in and have their moments. So, yeah, whether it's, you got a guy that could be in your top five, or whether you got a guy that's just a depth piece to be in your top seven. Philip Myers, I thought, by the way, was really good tonight as well, getting the opportunity. I thought he defended well, got pucks out of the zone. And, but yeah, if you're going to go down two guys, and now you're getting pressed pretty heavily. So, yeah, I think that would be, either that or, at some point before the deadline in the next week or so, you call somebody up and give them an opportunity and try to get them some NHL games and be somewhat ready if you ever need them in April.
Ralphie, let's talk about Austin Matthews. He's on that point-scoring streak. Hasn't scored a goal on a goalie since January 22nd. Might not get 69 points, let alone 69 goals, but plays a really good game. What's your take on what he's doing?
Well, I know this has been brought up before, and, it was a lot of fun watching him last year, wasn't it? Yeah. Where it was, the race for 70 goals, and isn't this going to be a great story? And then they're out in the first round of the playoffs, and nobody cares. I don't want to say anybody cares, but you're saying, unfortunately, that was our highlight. It was the 70-goal chase. And I know the comparison's been brought up before, but you go to when Steve Yzerman finally won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Yzerman's numbers, 22 goals in 96-97, and he had 24 goals the following year. They won back-to-back Cups. So even though it was great, he had, a couple of 60-goal seasons. He had another 50-goal season. And you're thinking, boy, that's an elite player. And yet, when different parts of his game had to get better, I think he became a better captain, and they had more success when it came to the playoffs. And I know Scotty Bowman had said, had that conversation with him, saying you got to play different. And I'm not saying that Matthews, the way he's playing, isn't capable of still being a regular 50 to 60 goal guy. But I think in the scape of things, they're his first year captain, and they're in first place. What else do you want?
A cup.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Yeah. So whether he scores 30 or whether he scores 69, that answer remains consistent, doesn't it?
If he could transition like Yzerman did, who went from stud player to quintessential leader, I think everybody would buy into that movie.
Yeah, and it's so. I think obviously, if say you switch the Leafs and the Rangers right now, you'd be saying, "Oh my God, you need more from Matthews." You need, you need him to fill the net because he's that important. But I still think that there's he may not be 100%. I'm not privy to that kind of information, but I still see the effort there. He's still on the ice for big moments, and it's only an assist tonight, but it was a pretty important one, wasn't it? That he was able to find the puck in the skates of the Ranger defenseman behind the net and have the vision to spot Matthew Nyes going in. So, for those that the haters or the ones that want to criticize him. Let's see how this plays out first, because I think as a team, they've been pretty good under their new captain.
Domi had another solid outing tonight. He's got 3 assists his last 3 games. Where do you see him ending up after the deadline? Do you see him in the top 6 on the wing? Do you still see him at center? What's his future shaping up to be, in your opinion?
Yeah, you know what, Stu? I don't know about you or you as well, Jim. It'll be interesting to see. If they are able to make a move to get a third, second to fourth line guy, bottom 9, forward up front, or how much faith they have in McMahon, Domi, and Nick Robertson. And I think, aside from Robertson's turnover that led to the shorthanded goal, you'd be hard pressed to say, they're giving us something we didn't know we'd get. And I think for Max. Yeah, you would like to see a little more on the goal-scoring side. That's 26 now without a goal for him. And yet, I don't know if you noticed, there was one entry. The Leafs couldn't get the puck into the Rangers zone in the second period of the power play. And then Max Domi came back, loaded up, and just breezed through everybody into the zone. So I like the fact that he's been a lot more noticeable. And had the great pass to Ekman Larson, too, on the power play goal in the first period. I like the fact that you're saying,